Hey guys, welcome to After the Anchor podcast. I am your host, Leslie Wise. My guest today has flown in from out of state. She comes from Minnesota and her name is Corrine. Corrine is a scroll stopper for me. I saw her on social media and I just knew that I had to have her in the studio to come and talk about her struggles with addiction and dependency. So without further ado, I would love to welcome to you my guest, Corrine.
Hi. Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Such a busy last 24 hours,
yes.
I guess. Yeah, at this point, it's 11, and I picked you up yesterday at like 10.
Yes,
so
I was running on fumes yesterday.
Yeah, we're in 24 hours. Yesterday, we kind of went on a adventure. So we started off at lunch at one of my favorite local restaurants, the Rowdy Cowboy in Grapevine.
Ready.
And we got to hear a little bit about your story. I asked you some questions about your childhood, and we're going to hit back on all of that again. From there, then we left. What did you think about Rowdy? Honestly. Tell me a little.
I love a good bar. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, we love a good bar, right? I didn't know that. There was just one thing I didn't know, and it was really a big shock. But I'm not conservative, so I just want to put that out there. That as a liberal woman, or as like a young woman, that this was my genuine thought. But yeah. So we got to the restaurant, and I saw a girl in like a string bikini, and I'm like, oh. There's a beach nearby. It was like 70 degrees, right? I'm like, oh, damn, there's a pool nearby. And then I look around and there's like multiple women in string bikinis. And then like a couple of them like maybe looking like they're their servers. And I'm like, oh.
It all hit.
But then I asked, is this a strip club? And they said no. So Texas is very different than Minnesota because that's amazing. I'm so aghast or shocked because I've simply never heard or seen it. I mean, what a different world. I was like I'd never seen a woman in a bikini before, you know? Like, oh my gosh.
But not serving food away from the beach.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy your time?
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, and thank you so much for bringing me. And like, the girls were beautiful and wonderful. And
I love going.
I've so enjoyed my time.
I love going. I like the food. I like the atmosphere. But mainly, I just enjoyed hanging out and getting to know you really for like the first time in person.
Yeah.
So from there, once we were nice and full, we headed out to my old stopping grounds in Fort Worth, Texas. Mm-hmm. We made it to the other end, the east end of Camp Bowie Boulevard, over by your Green Oaks, Ridgely area. And we went to Studio 74 Vintage.
Nice.
And okay, so can we show? So for instance, I'm not sure if you can see with the microphone.
That's so cute. I literally love it.
I got this nice little like sweater. It still had the tags from Walmart. It was from 1980s. I love it. And then let's see your shirt.
Okay. So we're kind of thinking this woman is like, well, you said Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, Cruella DeVille. She's
like a lady of the 20s who was on Titanic. Yeah. Am I like wrong about that? I don't know. And then what does the back say?
It says, roll right through the night. Roll right through the night.
And you know, if that ain't true,
I don't know what is.
Roll right through.
There were so many unique and interesting pieces. If you like vintage, if you like retro, resale, all of that, this is the place you need to go. And I was super excited. I walked in and I had already reached out to the owner ahead of time and, just to let her know see if it was okay if we could bring a camera with us and record the shopping experience because it was such a cute location and I wanted to document it. And she said, yeah, come on in. One of my girls will be here for you. And I walked in and it was a blast from my past. I mean, I ran into one of my friends, Lindsay, from the olden days. And
it was a big deal, clearly. I didn't know that was your friend, except that like It was. I mean, you were not expecting to see each other, and you were happy to see each other. That was
someone
apparent.
that I would love to. I'm like, well, I'd love to see her. Like, oh, I'd love to go and hang out and catch up. But then it's always like, under what pretense? Like, under what? Like, hey, you were my sister's friend growing up, and you're still her friend now. But like
what?
But so it was really nice because I never thought I'd ever like hug her again or see her face to face or talk to her, and so it was really nice.
Totally,
because I've kept up with her life. She seems to have kept up with mine somewhat. So it was really nice. And then from there, once we shopped and dropped. We went to go see Longhorns in the stockyards of downtown Fort Worth. We were over in the north side.
I've never heard. I mean, I didn't know what a longhorn was. Never. What the hell is a longhorn?
And you thought it was a bull. I even think I said it was a bull on the phone. And I've lived here long enough to know better.
A bull is a longhorn, right? Or no?
It's just no, it's a cow. There's cows and then there's bulls.
Can longhorns be
a bull?
Do they have to be boy to be a longhorn, or they can be girl?
No. Okay, don't cut. Oh, it's my favorite thing. Don't cut.
Because bulls are all boys, right? And cows are all girls?
No. There's male cows.
No.
Yeah. So they all have horns, but they cut the horns unless they've been genetically bred to not have horns.
Wait.
But a bull is a bull.
How could a cow be a male, though? Because they have...
I don't know. Maybe it is.
This.
That's one thing I didn't prepare for, those questions.
No, I didn't know I was going to ask
We are not, I know, right? So, hey, if y'all know, you should comment and give us your input, because I'm sure you will be more than happy to correct us.
I'm sure someone's like,
and let us know.
Yeah.
I'm going to look.
But we don't have longhorns in Minnesota. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. What was the bird thing, too?
The bird. The peacocks. Yes,
well,
peacocks. Yes. So I've learned, and this is a real thing. There are peahens, peacocks, and then a peaflock. So when you see a bunch of them, it's not just peacocks.
I love it.
That is not appropriate. They are peahens, peacock, and peaflock.
Peaflock?
A peaflock. Yes.
What? But what was the bird? You say it was a crow or something?
Oh, a buzzard. So they don't have.
What the fuck is a buzzard? I never heard of a buzzard. A buzzard?
Yeah, buzzard.
That's a cartoon character. Oh my gosh, no. I thought they were kind of smaller, darker turkeys, is what I would compare them to for Minnesota. Oh my gosh, buzzards? What the fuck is a buzzard? Oh, different universe on here.
Yeah, they're like huge geese. They're like really big size.
Are they mean?
They're not
our geese are really mean.
No, they fly off. Buzzards will fly off. They're not gonna. The vultures, they don't. They only like dead stuff. They're not interested in anything. Hawks, but we do have big hawks.
We have those. Yeah.
So from there, we thought that was going to be the end of it, and then I heard that you were a Harry Potter fan.
I got a tattoo. It says always.
Harry Potter.
I have two Deathly Hallows tattoos.
And yesterday you had on a Hogwarts sweatshirt. So I had heard that there was an immersive experience out here in North Texas, in Plano, Addison area. And so I was like, well, my guest loves Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. Let's go.
No-brainer.
So we did. We went, and it was a really cool exhibit.
It was really cool.
It was never ending.
Not again, but I said this last night. I didn't think it would be something that would additionally impress me than I already am with the universe, but it did. They had so much, room after room, and also it went out of order in the books and movies. So we were in the fifth kind of with the Order of the Phoenix room, and then you go in the Chamber of Secrets. So you think it's not the sixth one, the Half-Blood Prince after that. So it's you didn't really know when it was going to end. I really liked it. It was so fun. It was worth it. You knew trivia. It was funny because it's I'm all standing in the middle of the room, and they gather everyone around, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do some trivia, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do some trivia. No, I was brain dead too. I was not really thinking.
And there was a lady next to us, and then you two started spitting out answers, and I'm like, okay, let me bow out of this circle of knowledge and just listen. I love it. So did you do the books too?
When I speak of I'm a Harry Potter fan, I'm speaking solely of the books. The books changed my effing lives. I love the movies, but they just don't even touch what is missed in the books. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you know that all that there's just like no way you could fit all of the information that J.K. Rowling thinks and puts into her novels into those movies. Now, they're doing an HBO series, and apparently each chapter is supposed to be an episode, like a Game of Thrones thing. So I'm very interested in that because I don't want them to miss a single freaking detail.
No, right,
because
right.
there is so much stuff they had to skip over, especially when it got from the Order of the Phoenix and on. So whatever, I could go on a tangent forever, but I love the books. And the movies are fun now too. But the books will always be my love.
I was really happy that we got to do that because this makes my face really happy. It makes my cheeks all hurt.
You're literally so sweet.
Whenever, I was like, okay, because I love it. And I get it, what you mean. Like, I didn't read the Harry Potter books because I just was not in that time of my life.
Well,
when I was
you're not
18,
a fan. I didn't mean that.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
You're definitely a fan.
But I read Twilight books. And so I can see what you mean by they couldn't fit every detail that really made the books. So I can see, once you said that, I go, oh, now I understand. Yeah, there's so much side information that they just cannot cram in there. It'd be like watching a ton of Titanics or Star Wars.
No, the Twilight movies are like a vibe, like with the music and the fault, but it doesn't make me, like, I'm literally reading the most delicious porn of my entire life when I'm reading Twilight. Like, I am like, there is nothing more hot than this just pure romance. And they couldn't replicate that in the movie.
Well, I'm very glad we got to do that. This morning, if you haven't noticed, we're a little fabulous, a little more fabulous, because I think we're pretty fabulous regardless. But we went and had our glam. I have also another podcast guest who is a friend of mine, Omar, who has a studio in downtown Dallas called Main Salon. And we went this morning and we got to talk a little bit more about your life and your story while we got our makeup done, and it was just a really fun experience. So you were a glam virgin?
Glam virgin. I got my glam virginity taken. I mean,
what'd you think?
I think I've only ever done my own makeup myself. Maybe like someone helping me, but not.
What did I think?
I didn't know. I did not know that my face. I didn't know I could look so different. This is not what I look like typically. This is very smooth, clear skin. I cannot achieve. How do I achieve that? I'm really impressed with the skin, right? Each thought is interrupting the other thought because I'm so excited about everything I'm saying. But the skin, I'm obsessed with the skin. And then I just very particular about my eyebrows. So I just extended them and my eyeliner a little bit. And I'm like,
it's the
fierce.
finesse.
I love it. No, I'm literally, what a treat. Thank you so much. Like, what a freaking treat.
Well, and I'm really glad that it was Omar that did your makeup, because they were going to seat me with Omar. And I was like, no, he's already done mine. And I know how he was listening and he was listening to you. And then he'd stop and he'd like stop what he was doing to listen to more of what you were doing. And I was like, that's my friend. That's exactly like, he'll stop and he's listening. And then he's like,
he has input.
I have a life that I've lived and I've got a lot of knowledge, and let me give you some wisdom. And so I was like, that was the icing to the cake for me, was that we got to do like a whole little thing. Like it was like a whole little staycation type thing. Oh. So now.
And she's been so generous. Like, I'm having the time of my life. Leslie is like so wonderful. I love it. If you know Leslie, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you're missing out. She is freaking fabulous.
Yeah, come on my podcast.
Freaking nice.
No, I'm kidding. You have to.
Well, I mean, you have to be important enough.
I know. You have to stop my scroll.
You have to be like messed up enough like me. Your face has to be like absolutely screwed up to where you're like, what is this?
No. You just have to be authentic, because it wasn't that one video. That's what piqued my interest. And it was the following videos where you have there's something driving you to talk about your journey and your past and your life. So let's start. Where else? At the very beginning, as Julie Andrews says, it's a very good place to start.
Let's start at the very beginning.
Yes,
and I have no
exactly.
voice, so I think we're not singing. But
So, Corrine, where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, born in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A little bit grew up in Eagan, which is just all Minneapolis, obviously, the city, and then Eagan, suburb outside of the city. But mostly my whole life was Shakopee, Minnesota, growing up, suburb outside of Minneapolis. And then I went to college in La Crosse, Wisconsin for musical theater, BFA musical theater. And I've never lived anywhere else, unfortunately. Tried to. Haven't.
Yes, we did. You did try. You
Yes.
did try. So when you were a child, what was that kind of like early, if you can think back to your early memories when you were 5 or so, what did that picture look like at home?
So I was, we were in an apartment. My mother and my biological father, call him bio dad because he's not my dad anymore.
Yeah.
But so she went to Russia for work. She was in the military and learned the language, and then met him, fully Russian, citizen, fully, didn't speak any English. But then, they got married and conceived me. She came back to the States. He eventually came, and then my brother was born. So when I was 5, there was me and then my probably like 1 or 2 year old brother, because like 3 years younger. And it was basically just my mom, brother, and I. Like the Boris, or like the bio dad, his name is Boris. He wasn't around like ever, and I was so glad about that because I don't really like him. My mom told me when he came home from work, I would kind of hide under the table. She said that he just didn't really he wasn't I don't think of it as like a child abuse or anything because my mom was like there protecting us, but she said that he didn't really understand Evan and I. He like particularly irritated me because he was always picking on me for doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, and I was just a kid is something that I'm remembering. But and then he had my brother came, Evan, and then one night, well, not one night, but just like, I think the culture shock for him was a lot. We predict he's on the spectrum, and just like in general, like if you're in a completely different culture. And
what year was this? Sorry.
No problem.
About
99, because I was born in 96, 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a culture shock early before 2000. That was a huge culture shock.
Moscow back then, I mean, it's completely different now. I've been there, but my mom described it back then as just like almost a third world country. I mean, she said there were people running around pickpocketing like gypsies. She said there's stray dogs everywhere.
For sure.
And there's nothing like that anymore. I've seen it, but it was like that back then. Yeah. Just one night, I mean, I just think it all was a lot for him. And my mom just assumed the complete full responsibility of taking care of my brother and I because we had to be taken care of, and he couldn't do it. And it didn't bother him that he couldn't do it. He just didn't do it. I remember they had like a fight. I don't know how I was involved, but he hit this core memory I have, and I'm fine, okay? But he picked me, whatever. He picked me up by my feet. Something about there was some frustration and fighting between maybe me and him or maybe my mom and him. And he starts swinging me around. I remember being really scared. I just remember being scared. And my mom, oh my God, fire coming out of her.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh. So he put me down and she grabbed me and my brother. And I remember we went to a church to pray in Egan, St. John Newman's. Surprised I remember that. And then we went to a family like hotel for people who go with like
DV shelter. Yeah. Thank God for those. Thank God for shelters for women because she had somewhere to go.
Yeah, she did.
And she used it. She took advantage of that.
She had 2 babies. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what this, I'm going to point this out because this is what I remember.
Please.
That night when we were at the family home or whatever, we didn't bring my pull-up or something. And well, you might wake the bed. But no, I can do it. I'm not going to wet the bed. And I did it. And then ever since, like, that's how I got bed trained or something was like I had to, or not wetting the bed trained was because I had to, like, just have regular underwear because I didn't have, like, a pull-up to go back. We didn't have to go back. Couldn't go back home to get the pull-up. And I don't know. I just remember that because it's like. You
remember that.
I just remember, I do. I remember being like, why can't I fucking just have this goddamn pull-up, but whatever. And then it worked and forced me to grow up.
Yeah, so you were pretty young going through that. That is traumatizing. Even if it doesn't affect you today, it is okay.
I guess it is, yeah.
Well, look, if I picked up Penelope even at 5 and I started swinging her around the room, she would say that was scary, and it would be it would be unsympathetic of me to say, well, how could that affect you? I mean, yeah, you had no control over that at all. And then you were used to having pull-ups, and then all of a sudden now you don't have
It's
it.
so
And you're
stupid.
like,
That's the thing I remember, but
I don't want to wet the bed.
yeah.
But then you didn't.
But then I didn't. And then I don't think I ever used to pull up again.
Yeah. No, that's, well.
I think a big part of me not being traumatized today, or like remembering it as traumatic, was because my mom like took the brunt of it all. I mean, I think her mom was like emotionally the opposite of neglectful, like used her, poured all her emotions into her. So my mom has always been
protective,
just overprotective of my grandma, just like can't even help, no matter what, she just can't help it. And I am like that to my mom, but I've never had to be, because she's, in those times, she was just like, she didn't cry. She was so strong. She had to be. Not if you can cry and be strong, but like, I mean, it was like nothing shook her. Like, she was just, oh, okay, now I'm divorcing, and now I have to get in food stamps. I have to get them enrolled in daycare. I have to get enrolled in teaching. She was like student teaching while doing college, while having two, so they got a divorce, obviously.
Yeah.
And I just think that she like absorbed the brunt of like all this crazy hard life shit that like it somehow, I don't think it affected me the way it could have, right? Like, I was just, we were so lucky we had the mom that we do, because it's almost like she probably like later had to work through it, but like in those moments, she just like.
She was an auto.
And that's what she's told me when I've had travesties happen. When you can't do anything, you just have to put one foot in forward and keep going, one foot in front of the other. That's all you can do, especially when she had no babies. But.
No, yeah, that was, so you guys you got divorced, and from there y'all were at the shelter. Your mom had found some help, or she was working.
That was just a night. So we went back to
one night.
Yeah, we went back to the apartment the next day. I remember being afraid Boris was going to be there, but she wasn't afraid of him, and she knew that he was going to be at work. So it wasn't necessarily like, it wasn't like we were scared of him, but it was like we need to keep away from him. I don't know.
Yeah, because of reactions, you were unsure of what his reactions were. They were just, they were unsure.
Yeah,
unsure.
Yeah. Yep.
So from there, what did your elementary school life look like? Were you?
I'm trying to remember. I had a good time in Glacier Hills, where I went to in Egan. It was like an elementary school. But I remember being really upset because my mom, well, I loved him. He's my dad now. She met my dad, my like true dad, even though he's like, like he's not my blood dad, but that is like truly my father. Like, and the Lord made a mistake and accidentally put like my DNA in, but I'm telling you, Matt Nugent is my dad, okay? Mm-hmm. And my brother's dad. And anyway, so she had dated a couple people, we hated them all, but the second we met him, that's it. That's our dad. And he had a really cute dog too, so that helped. Where was I going with that? So I was in like maybe halfway through second grade, and I was like, really, I had some friends, but my mom, we were going to relocate to Shakopee where my dad lived. He lived in a townhouse, and he's an architect. And he must have, in the 30s, I guess. They're both in their 30s at this point, like mid-30s. And I just remember being like so bummed that I had to like leave my friends. But then I went to a Catholic school for like a year or two, or made some friends there. That was fun. I've actually still have friends there that still have friends to this day that I had there. But from there, it was like public middle school, public junior high school. It's like a ghost.
It's okay. So from there, how did middle school go for you?
Middle school was it was not fun. Besides that, I had Harry Potter, and that's I discovered my love for reading, and I think I didn't know it then, but I think that's when like I initially became noticing that I have like clinical depression, right? Like I was just like, always bothered. My mom told me I had severe anxiety. I mean, like insane. I do remember most nights, I would feel sick as hell trying to fall asleep as a kid. Like just couldn't fall asleep, and I would just always get so sick. Anytime I was in a car, I would get so sick. And yeah, I just like apparently like I didn't handle or just like things that you couldn't predict that happen in life. I didn't handle well. I had severe anxiety anyway, I'm assuming. But yeah, and then discovered my love for reading and the story of Harry Potter, and that really helped me through like a depression. But I was like, my nose is buried in a book, which is funny because I'm super outgoing and I can't even freaking help how much I talk. But my nose is buried in a book, and there's girls around me that look like me and are like, oh, maybe I should join in their conversation. But I didn't know I never had the right thing to say. It wasn't cool that I was like reading a giant Harry Potter book. Like that's like really, really lame.
It is actually cool, but yes, back then they didn't. Yeah, we don't really
like. What are you? Right?
We knew it was cool, but yeah.
Oh, they were missing out, right? But I just realized like every time I tried to like engage with most of the women in that middle school of my grade, I was just like, I was just gonna feel stupid and then like a regret. And then like play over the interaction in my head, like anxious, like the anxious person I am. Mm-hmm. And so I just like stopped talking for like a fucking minute, like 1 minute only, like half a year is what I mean by a minute. And buried my nose in a book. And this is the year I like read Harry Potter 1,000 times. And then this is the year I discovered Twilight. Everyone's reading Twilight. Porn.
Yes.
Love it. But yeah, no, there was other books I was just like religiously reading. So I was just reading. And I wasn't connecting really to anyone. I started getting some best friends, and I hadn't really known anything about theater until like 6th grade, but I was still reading. So it's almost like I had the passion for reading and like the stories of that to help me escape my anxiety. Mm-hmm. And then I realized I really liked performing and singing. And then that kind of ended up taking over like the books, but as it like for what would make me feel better or like cope with life or depression or anxiety that I just naturally had. That's
do you have any idea where the anxiety was coming from?
I read something once that said you are anxious in your adult daily life because someone in your childhood made you have to be hyper aware of their emotions at all times. And I don't like it. I was just always, my brother and I depended on our mom. She was our source of life. And there were a lot of hard days before she met my dad. And then even after, because they had 2 freaking babies she was raising. But there were just a lot of hard days I saw her go through. And I remember I would just kind of absorb it. Like, it would stress me out to see her stressed out. I felt everything that she felt. I really did. And she didn't, like I said, she absorbed the brunt of this. Like, that I didn't get affected by it. But I think naturally she's my mother. I'm connected to her. So anxiety built up. I think depression has always effing been there. I think I've always been depressed, but I never knew it until very recently. I've always denied it. I'm anxious. I don't have clinical depression. I'm just depressed. No, I've been depressed for so long.
Yeah, a lot of that, what you said about the anxiety and having to take on, and there's no blame with your mom because I couldn't even think that because my anxiety goes off onto my children.
Well, of course. We're just exasperation or like do this and like the sound of their voice.
or my daughter seeing me struggling. And so I know that makes her struggle because she doesn't want to see mom struggle. And so, it's just knowledge and information and tools and dialogue, which is something that your mom didn't have because there was no platform for.
Literally, she had. I don't know how she did it. I do not know.
This sort of stuff, there was no support. We at least know.
And the world was sexist.
Yeah.
Fucking sexist to her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was breastfeeding Evan. Oh, she told me that, like, it was just, like, not a thing
it was
to, like,
very
breastfeed
different.
in public. Not even,
Very
I mean,
different.
you would be, like, get a
Ridiculed.
nasty look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very nasty. Yeah.
So the world was, I mean, man, how lonely. And she was our sole care. Like, just everything we were was because of her. So yeah, I mean, just it was easy to latch onto her emotions and only hers.
Well, your family, guys were a unit. That's what we do in a family, is we help each other. Sometimes in that family unit, it's toxic and they feed off of each other, but you guys were thriving and surviving. You guys were in your own unique way. It didn't look like thriving from the outside, but your mom was thriving.
I mean, like, I was a happy kid. I was good. I was genuinely happy. I didn't know anything was that wrong, to be honest. I thought everyone, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember realizing this as, like, something that is, like, super, like, uncommon. Like, I had a friend who had a mom and dad and regular, like, maybe not regular, but just, like, middle class house. And I remember just, like, not realizing that there was a difference, and it just didn't bother me. Like, I wonder why. I don't know, but, like, I just remember, I just thought that's how it was. It didn't bother me.
Yeah. So into high school, you loved theater, and I know that was something that you really threw yourself into, was theater. Tell me more about theater. In high school.
Yeah.
And you still had never used any drugs?
No.
Tried drinking?
No.
Smoking?
No. No crack.
No.
Nothing. Believe it or not, no.
Coffee? Were you on the coffee?
Oh my God. I didn't even drink fucking coffee until
not.
Like, I don't even think I drink coffee as a freshman, because I just, like, had yet to realize that would actually help me. Which it doesn't. It gives me a lot of anxiety, but, like, better than nothing, right?
It's self-induced, at least. At least you know where the anxiety's coming from your delicious cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Yum.
And it's a controlled, maybe you're like a chosen anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. So you sober in high school, you're doing theater. Are you still kind of, like, in your head, still same anxious level? Even though you weren't aware then, but now looking back, were you still in depression, or were you finding yourself? Did you found
That's a great question. I think it was just another thing of replacing. What did I replace the books with? I replaced the books with theater.
Theater.
Yeah. Well, and singing. So it started off as, like, I started realizing I always knew I liked singing and running around. Like I said, I, like, as a kid, was like, the colors of the wind. And so my mom was like, oh, she's going to be a performer, you know? So it's always, like, something I'd like to do. I'm outgoing. I like to say my mind. I like to share my thoughts. I like to perform. So that was never a surprise. But, like, I was really starting to latch on to, like, any woman on TV that was, like, displaying their voice. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then at that point, there were, like, all these random holy prodigies of each genre of kids. So there was like a child dancer that was, like, the best dancer. No one could ever top that dancer. And then there was, like, you know, like, there were many kids that were, like, getting into their niche that made them, like, the world champion at that one niche. And so, for example, I saw kids my age on Broadway, and they were just, I mean, professional actors. They knew what they were doing. So I was like,
I can do that.
I was like, how come they get to do, what the fuck? And I thought, you know, it was frustrating because, like, those kids, you know, their parents, that was their parents' job, is putting their kids into the profession.
They got them,
you know, that is their, and I was like, oh, okay. What was your question again?
Well, if you had found kind of your comfort in theater, or if you were still kind of struggling where, and then you had said, you know, a lot of times, like parents, like myself, I encourage these things, and you had seen children your age.
Yeah, it felt like you couldn't be good at any like, you had to, you had to pick an activity and just, like, that was your Olympic.
That's it.
Because, like, there were so many child prodigies in each thing that I, like, dance and all that. I don't know. I just remember that being, like, a thing back then, and it was just like,
overwhelming
because I'm not gonna. My parents weren't. My parents' job wasn't to make me a star and to bring me to classes to train to be.
Exactly.
They had babies and jobs. And yeah, I think I
Had you found yourself, or you were still kind of lost?
No, I hadn't found myself, but I got really close my junior year when I was Belle in Beauty and the Beast. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't get a lot of leads, but I did get Belle, and I was like, I worked really hard for that.
That's freaking amazing.
I'm so no. Yeah, so I was really close. I remember my director told me to like find the character, find her, and like I had yet to take college acting. Like I had yet to really know what the fuck
that meant
theater was all about, and like how to even act, how to like be present and not perform and whatever. But I took that, and I remember just like, I think the closest I was to finding myself was, when I was playing Belle in that musical, and like they were doing like the Be Our Guest, when everything came together and I was kicking with my Be Our Guest. And that's like when I truly like at my center, like I like came to myself, like the center of myself almost. Like I'll talk more about it later. Like when I do drugs, like it's almost like there's two parts of me, like my bones rise above my skin or vice versa. But like this moment, it was just like everything in my body sunk into each other, and like it just worked. Like it was just soul, body, like all together. If that makes sense. Like I was just one happy being. So that was the closest, but I still don't know who the fuck I was. I knew after that, though, that I was like, I cannot fucking give this up. This is a high. This is the only high besides reading Harry Potter books that I've ever known. And at that point, I didn't know my brain hurt. I don't think it necessarily did. But oh my God, I needed that high. That was a really cool high. See, and I thought I loved hearing the sound of my voice. It was just fucking fun. It was the most fun I could have, like putting work into something, it was work, but yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So by senior year, was there anything that happened throughout your high school career that would ever have put any doubt inside of you?
Oh yeah. For like that I wanted it. Yeah. Well, think of think of Glee, if you know about that show. Like, we almost, in each niche of high school, there's like people that like really care about it. And so there was definitely, when I was getting into the high school, there was like a drama club, and there was definitely like some upperclassmen that like were they wanted to run the club. Okay. But they, I didn't know they were gay yet, so they're just making some crazy generalizations. Like, if you like, like basically like they were, it's hard to explain. They were just rude, like actually so rude to your face. Like they would say like, why did you sing that? You suck. Like actually.
Oh yeah.
Or,
and there was no mediation or moderating happening.
Not at that point. And like they made like anyone that was recruited to the theater program, they like scared away, which is fucking sad because the theater is supposed to be for everyone. Yeah. But they were like, you don't care about theater as much as I do? You know? But then I actually really wanted to be with those drama club people. So like, well, I love theater just intensely as fucking much as them. Yeah. I know what they mean because I'm just as passionate. These people shouldn't be in our show. They don't fucking know how my soul burned for this role in this show for months, and you just auditioned and you're gonna do dance team and be in the honor. You can't do all that. Like this is my life. You know? So that's kind of their esque, and I started to pick that up. But then I was old enough that I started getting roles, and I didn't get the top award in Beauty and the Beast that could have been given. And I used that as like actual fact, evidence, proof that I was like a terrible singer, terrible actor. I would never, ever make it. No one would ever want to see me. Trash. And furthermore, there was another girl that I admired in theater that had come to see in the show, and she confirmed through the rumors that like, whatever, they didn't like my voice. And oh my God, it destroyed me. Oh my fucking God. Destroyed me. I can't even tell you, like, how painful that was. Like, I wanted to sing and act on stage. It burned how badly I wanted to do it. Like, I didn't care about having a boyfriend. I didn't party in high school. I was like too fucking busy focusing on my career, which is really interesting because that's what people do after. And I fucking didn't do that after. I was like, I gotta get it now in high school when I should have just been like, relax. So more and more pressure built, more and more. And then senior year comes, and when you're a senior, if you're into musical theater, if you're anyone in the Twin Cities, you're auditioning for BFAs, Bachelor of Fine Arts musical theater programs. So then I was getting to know like all the other people at other schools that were like me. There was like 1 or 2, 3 of us that were like, and I was competing with them at different auditions. I wasn't that good. So, I mean, it's just constant comparing yourself. Constant. I didn't like my weight back then, and it was hard to do that.
Are there no tools in theater teaching education where do they just
like tell you how to audition or like train you?
Tell you how to like get like how to build yourself up? How to get out of your head? Like, here are tools. So when you get into your head and you're telling yourself you're terrible, these are tools that you can use to overcome that so that you can be the most successful on stage as possible. Because if you're in your head...
No, I've never seen it like that tangible and that perfect.
I'm sorry, but I don't see how you can build success without support. So I would say that a lot of the lack of thought of positivity in your head would go towards educators in high school.
Well, the educators, what they wanted to do and what we thought we wanted was for them to knock us the fuck down.
Well, that's when it's the adult's responsibility to take control of the situation.
I wanted them to be like fucking mean to me. Like, I wanted them to be like,
but what a teenager wants and what they need was not a pro.
Well, because I thought that was what was. Oh no! Now, if I were them, I'm like, how the fuck were they so? No, the college professors were fucking crazy. Well, like I was actively, clearly having mental health disorders, and they treated me like I was a professional, that I had a signed contract that I had to finish with them for a show. No, I am paying you for my schooling. I'm fucking paying you. And these fucking teachers, live it. I remember coming to Matthew Scott Campbell. I'm going to say your fucking name. I came to you, and I was at the lowest I've been, and you know it. And you just treated me like I was a lazy ensemble member that you just like had to have in the show, that you were paying me and like I signed something and I was completing your job. No, I was paying you. And the things that he said to me like hurt me. Like, he said that I never tried and I never cared. And absolutely that was not true. And that like broke me, like literally broke me. And that like, theater wasn't for me. I would never, nothing would ever come of it for me because I just didn't have like the stamina, which is maybe accurate, but like not when I'm like that depressed and like about to drop out of a school. Like, what the fuck is your problem? That got me off on a tangent, but theater is, it's more, I hope now it's different. I haven't been in the theater one in a while. I hope it's different now, but back when I was really intensely in it, it was like, how blunt and rude can you be in order to get what you want? Mm-hmm. Like, because I don't fucking know. Like, we thought that like the meaner the directors were, the snappier we were in dance calls, the harsher, the more unreasonable.
Them a large platform. Y'all gave these people a large platform.
Well, we did. Oh, we did. Like, because we were like the BFA.
That's so
and
crazy.
That's
not crazy,
dumbass.
But
this fucking teacher I'm talking about, Matthew Scott Campbell. What the fuck ever, dude? You're not special, but he fucking thought he did. He was, because we were like, he had the power to cast us, and that was our life, whatever. It was not a nice place to be.
He didn't enrich your life, which that's not how I want to go out. I don't want to be known as someone who's not an enrichment.
Only when I was like in a show. It stopped being fun. halfway through.
I'm sorry about
college,
that.
yeah.
And I know that was a long time ago, but I can still be sorry for it.
Yeah, for sure you can.
So now you have gone to college and you are what's college life like?
Normal, like for what you'd think.
Still
I wasn't
sober?
I wasn't like purposefully being a prude or a whatever in high school. It just like wasn't around me. Like the friend group I chose to be around towards the end was like, we were just like all nerd, like theater people. And just like, it was just wasn't. I saw drinking like I drank once before I went to college. And that was the first time I got drunk. But yeah, no, I didn't know. Drugs I never thought about drugs at all. Besides the fact that I know what weed smelled like because my little brother would smoke weed. But that's fucking it, dude. Like,
excuse me.
Yeah, bless you. Shit. What was it like? I just lost it. Hang on.
You're okay. You were now in college and you'd only drank once in high school. But
Thank you.
You were in college and you were just not, y'all. That wasn't the path.
I wasn't like, I was actually excited to like do that type thing. And I talk a lot about being like into theater and like that was my pet. But I was also like a regular girl. Like I wanted to look good. I was very insecure about my weight. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to have cool friends, like all the other regular things that I also hadn't achieved in middle school when I was reading books. Like I still always felt like the uglier duckling. I never had the best body, I thought, and especially when I got older with like, just got, heavier, whatever. So anyway, point is I was just I was a regular fucking freshman. Like, confused as ever, don't know who you are, but like having fun. Oh, it was fun. It was so fun.
Was it away from home? Were you at home?
2.5 hours away. Okay, it was in the cross.
So you were close, but still you were a nice distance.
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah, affordable because reciprocity in Wisconsin. There was drinking parties at college, and like I participated. It was great. I had so much fun. There was really no drugs ever. Maybe there was like behind my back, but not with the theater kids I was hanging out with. I mean, to be honest, this school is it's next to University of La Crosse, but it is called Viterbo University. It's a private Catholic college that was mostly known for nursing. So it was like 80% women. On top of that, with a theater it was known for. And then like the rest was like gay men, and then maybe like 3% straight men. So like these straight men thought they were on campus, like they like were like the shit because they had the pick of the litter. Yeah, because there was 3 of them that were straight and available. Like, So eventually I would like start. Yeah, I really wanted to like be partying with them and like, still didn't quite fit in though. I didn't look that good either, and I would still to this day. For some reason, I'm convinced that the reason why I never fit in is because I was, in my opinion, ugly. Which is sad to admit out loud, but I don't know. Well,
that would be very, very,
like, I truly think that if I looked the way I do, like, I like how I look now, because you grow up and you get used to, like, what looks good on you, your face sinks in and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it was about confidence. Maybe if I led with how I feel like I look good now, and maybe. But yeah, no, I've always thought like I would have been popular and would have fit in and would have had more opportunities had I been prettier.
You're very.
He's like, don't worry, I'm not asking. But that's just whatever.
I think that high school and the early 20s are very rough for everyone.
Well, also think about this.
We're all like in our
We were just getting Instagram and Snapchat, and my generation, our class, like grew with it. So like I didn't have body dysmorphia until Instagram told me to have body dysmorphia.
Because you got to see.
Which is actually good because then I didn't have to like freak out for a couple extra years. My little sisters had body dysmorphia way earlier because of fucking Instagram. I feel bad.
Yeah.
But also then I was like, unprepared for the body dysmorphia. So I was just like a fucking mess in college, comparing myself to everyone and anything. And a lot of girls didn't really gain weight until college. I actually gained a little bit of weight my senior year of high school, and I lost a little bit of weight in college, but like I did it backwards. So I was just really upset with myself.
Because you were anxious, though. You were super anxious in college. That's why you were losing weight in the beginning and not gaining.
Up and down. Yeah. I was also like binge eating and then purging, or not really I tried to purge. I couldn't really do it. Binging. And then I'd be like, depressed. And then just do it again. Or I would do these crazy diets.
So I
tried every diet in college.
So Corrine, and maybe I'm not correct here, but there seems that you did have, before you ever touched alcohol, you did have some addictive thoughts.
Yeah, I would say that I've always had addictions.
Without a chemical, without anything
Absolutely.
illegal.
And I've thought that before. I think I've always been an addict, but I had yet to be introduced to a chemical.
Yeah.
That would, but at first it was like my obsession with Harry Potter books. I mean, obsession, okay? And then it turned into Harry Potter, or theater, and I just like went gung-ho head first in the theater, just destroying myself over my passion for it. And then when theater was starting to fizzle out, my brain, and I was having trouble controlling eating. So I got the binge eating. That kind of makes you almost, get for a second, you get high maybe because you're just like yum, yum, yum. And then afterwards you crash. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's awful. I would not go back to that time. It's so hard being a young 20-year-old. Oh my God. I wish I could hug past me.
Yeah. What would you say?
Was so
like
sad.
Right now, what would you say to 20-year-old you?
Girl, it's just chill. You will lose the weight. Just fucking chill.
The weight will come off. What you would. So you were really struggling.
Weight was the number one. Yeah.
Do you think that whenever you did eventually, which we'll get to, actually, let's go ahead and go back there. So now you're in school. At what point did you find chemical dependency? At what point did you go, oh, that tastes good? And I mean the feeling state.
And it took a second, yeah. Well, I mean, I was drinking like a normal college student, but I like normal. And I actually didn't like it. I wish there was a way I could get the alcohol in me so I could be drunk, but because I fucking,
yeah, you don't like
I really had a tough time with it. And then, like, because, like younger kids, like shoot them back and like they can handle it maybe because they have like steel stomach. I certainly couldn't. I was, I didn't I wasn't, but I would get plastered shit-faced drunk as you would in college. But I didn't find that to be any part of an addiction thing for me. What it was like my addiction to like my body dysmorphia and like just wanting to be. I was convinced that if I was the weight I wanted to be, everything else would fall in. Like everything would be perfect. I would be a good singer, actor, would have money, just everything. Fuck, I keep doing this. Okay.
You're okay.
Hi. Okay. When theater started fading, like halfway through college, as in like the thrill of it was starting to like go away. Because like you're an adult, you're starting to demand more things for your emotions, and like standing there and be like, is not as therapeutic as it once was, simply because of all the fucking shit I'm dealing with,
Yeah.
So someone's senior year, someone was like, weed was like finally maybe kind of in my mind, and someone was like, you never smoked, let's smoke you up. And I was like, yeah, and I was finally like, I'm telling you, like, what, I don't even know what the fuck I thought of weed before this, because after a couple months, it was all, I mean, I fell in love with it, but like, I didn't even know anything, didn't think much about it, whatever. Anyway, I smoked with him 2 like Wednesdays in a row, I remember saying, and I didn't get high because it's kind of hard to get high your first time. Plus, I don't know if I was inhaling right. My God, my throat hurt though. But then I met this boy at a bar and he was like, do you smoke weed? And I was like, yes, every Wednesday, because I had the past 2 Wednesdays.
Every Wednesday.
So he takes
now.
me, I didn't know I was going to, no, this is funny. He takes me to his like fucking attic closet in his like college frat house, like We're smoking, like we're sharing like whatever, a joint. And I hadn't got high yet, right? But I was hitting it past, and what was I thinking? I don't know, because I probably hit it like 4 or 5 times. And then it hit me. And we all know what it's like to get high off weed the first time. I mean, it's like fucking mushrooms. Yes. It's psychedelic. So I ran out of there, and I was actually tripping balls, like fully. The guy that ran out after me, whoa, like that's what, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, and his like head was like bigger than his body, and it was like looming. And I was like,
yeah, no.
And I was like telling him to take me to the hospital and all this shit. And he's like, girl, you're fucking stoned.
Yeah.
And luckily him and his roommate like, well, no, and then I was like I was just like, I was like painfully high for 4 hours, whatever. And then like the next 24 hours after that, I wasn't the same. So probably it took me after that experience, I was like scared, right? Because I didn't get the enjoyment from it. I was just fucking terrified. Which is interesting because like now I'm like, I wish I could get that high. But then I got into another boy and he was like, let's smoke weed. And I'm like, okay, I got high before. I'll just take like a smaller hit. And then like him and then I started getting like a little bit high, and I really wasn't enjoying it though, because it was still like so fucking high. Like it's still very strong when you're new to it. Oh my God. And then about 2 to 3 times into like smoking with this guy after the first time I got really high, I was like, I don't like that last time was like kind of cool. Like maybe I don't like drink wine tonight, and I didn't even drink wine by myself, but like I was like, what if I just like get some weed? I didn't even know how to smoke the weed, dude. The dude would light that for me. I mean, this is how fucking new I was to this world. And then I know I got some weed, and I was telling you yesterday, it was like a pipe, like a little classic pipe. And I thought the weed was gonna fall out of it. So I was like hitting it like this, like a trumpet. And it would just take one little baby inhale, like a quarter of the bowl would be used, and I would be fucking gone high. Oh, and this is when I was like, hang on.
I like this. I can do this.
Is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like it was
the
like
devil's lettuce.
Oh man, it was way different than drinking, and I had never felt anything like this. Oh my God, I was like almost getting what I was getting off of the thrill of, it's like a different high for sure, like the thrill of the stage is singing, but it was like, if I wanted to get that level of happiness, all I had to do was smoke, and I have to do all that work to be on stage. Interesting. So, really, I mean, it 0 to 100. Suddenly I was smoking every day like after class, which I was a senior, so I didn't even have that many classes. And then it went from that to like skipping classes and smoking all day. And then I was like, wait, this costs money. So I was like selling my plasma, but I was still like not smoking that much because still so new to it. So I wasn't going through that much. But then, I don't know, then it just got worse. I had to drop out. I mean, it was just so bad. And I came home and I was just like fiending for weed because, well, my parents they didn't know I was smoking, and then they found out, and I mean, I was their kid that had never done any drugs. So they were shocked.
No.
They wanted me away from that shit. I was about to ruin my life, and they were wrong. Like I dropped it.
Yeah.
I mean, they forbid my brother, who was always smoking weed, to like give me any. And I literally came home like treating it like it was like heroin. Like I was like, where's the meth? Or not meth. What the
no, where's the meth? Yeah.
Where's the weed?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, after that, after coming home and like dropping out of school, I very quickly adapt. Yeah, you just become a stoner. I mean, you get more used to it, and then you're smoking all the time. And pretty quickly, I absolutely needed it. And then I was also realizing I was losing weight. And that was my dream. That was my fucking dream. Because when I was smoking weed, I had never been able to control my appetite before. It was almost like I was always worried about my next meal, eating disorder. But this weed, it like fixed that little click in my brain. And I even when I wasn't high, didn't have that eating problem. I wasn't worried about my next meal.
Your hunger cue got killed. Yeah, you were able to.
So I could have kissed weed.
The weed was way more important than the hunger. That's wow.
I got the weight was
this.
falling off.
Yeah.
And I'll show you pictures. So I was by end of my senior year, I was like maybe like 20 pounds heavier than I am now. And then maybe like a half year later, when I really got into drugs, I was small. My dream fucking body, like thigh gap.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Really, really tiny arm. Oh my God. I thought, oh, fuck. Everything I was doing, getting super high all the time, was like pointing to yes, because I was getting this body.
You were getting what you were wanting.
What? So yeah, hell no was I going to give up weed, because I was afraid if I gave up weed, I would start eating again, like irregularly. But at that point, that's all I had was weed.
Yeah. So. When did we level up? When did we say, well, this ain't nothing?
Yeah, the gateway drug, right? But it shouldn't be, but it was for me, because at this point, my brain was really starting to hurt. The weed wasn't doing it. Yeah, so I
when you say brain hurt, because I've heard you say brain hurt quite a bit, and I know what I mean by when my brain hurts. And I've heard other people in my life use that exact phrase, my brain hurts. And so I'm curious what that definition is for you. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. What I mean by that is like the simplicity of existing hurts. And when I say hurt, I mean like, how I would describe it is like the fucking mundane, plain normalcy of every day, and like moments in between, beats after, whatever. The best way to describe it was like I was achingly bored. Like I was so fucking uninterested and unentertained in every fucking way. Like just so that it like was literally like almost hurt. And that's why I would say it would hurt. Everything was so fucking mundane, so fucking bland. Like like waiting for a server to like walk to the table to take my order, or like walk with the bill back, was painful, because that was just like seconds of like nothing. And I clearly I didn't like my brain, because I don't want to think. And so that's what I mean is that it was.
And whenever you are in there, do you ever have thoughts? Are you having loops? And I don't know if that's even the correct word, because when my brain hurts, I'm looping. I don't. The stuff.
That's a panic thing. I just think of my brain hurting as like
just how
I existed. Period. If I wasn't on, if I'm not where I am today and like nothing had happened, I would be currently in pain. If I just like had my brain be how it was back then. And I figured out, what that is, why I was just everything was so mundane, but it took me a long time to figure that out.
What was that?
I think I was like missing a little, I picture it. So here's one side of my brain, here's the other. And like everyone's brain has like a little connector so they can this is just like what I picture. Everyone's brain connector has like, something that like gets the information from point A to point B, right? Well, I am pretty fucking sure that I didn't have it, or was like severed. And so like every time I would like try to like just exist, connect point A to point B, articulate a thought that is like stuck in my head, or like think of things in a different way, that like I was just unable to, because I was missing like this connector, like gone. And I didn't know that you could zap it into place until I started doing stimulants. Zap it into place is, I put that lightly, but because
it's the charge.
Yes, but I'm not. That's not me saying dude.
But so I have a question. Whenever you say like waiting for the bill or waiting for the elevator, because that's the one that I was able to go, oh, ding ding. Do you get, without like, there's no anger, there's no problem with this, but do you ever find yourself being annoyed with lack of common sense? Does lack of common sense annoy you, and the fact that it takes twice as long for something to be done if there's not common sense? You know, kind of like your
Yes, but
common
it's
sense
just
is way
not
faster, and if their common sense is not as fast as your common sense, then it's a waste of my time. Do you feel that way ever?
situationally.
Yeah. Okay, so not quite.
Situationally.
Yeah, not
Not my
quite.
main,
Not quite.
not quite. But
I've worked on that.
yeah,
That was a big when you talk
I do
about the
hate incompetence.
elevator,
Like, that
it's
shit is
like
so annoying.
yeah, but like if someone presses both buttons at the elevator and now I have to wait for your mistake, I am bored.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot believe I have to stand here and wait for that.
No, but
I've
see,
worked
for
very hard to
me,
get past that though. That's not like
interesting.
I hated that. That was not a good feeling. And
Right.
then I'd be like, why am I so aggravated that someone made a mistake?
That's so interesting.
And it's like, because you wasted my time.
For me, if I was
And I'm
in that
bored
scenario,
now.
I would
Help.
I would no, I would
Okay.
I would actually, that would be entertaining to me. I would be like that is less boring than waiting for the elevator. But because something happened where like, and it triggers like
know where
any
that
type
came
of
from.
emotional reaction inside of me, I'm like, that's at least fucking something.
Have you heard in treatment, which we're like totally skipping into this really fast, but in treatment, have you heard many people talk about the boredom? Like why we feel so understimulated and why we want to feel so hyperstimulated, but we really don't want to be hyperstimulated.
Yeah.
I don't actually like it, but I like the idea of myself being stimulated past the point of mundane. I have a hard time living in the mundane.
Yes. The mundane, that's what I'm saying. It's like the most painful fucking thing I don't want to fucking
That's what you mean by okay, so not a physical. It feels like a physical because it's almost like a dull headache. It's almost like at some point you're just like,
it's not like I need to take an ibuprofen, but it's like I am so fucking unstimulated. It's like a battery or what, I don't know, like what's something that like needs shock to come to life? Like, I don't know, something that I'm like, I don't have any life, nothing is giving me any type of, and I don't know, just lack of passion, and that's depression, right? But more so,
everybody like,
yeah,
that's depression.
More so though, I mean, in the situations of like waiting for the bill to come, and I'm just like fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just I can't wait to get this waiting part over. I just like.
Do you ever wonder if you're waiting to get it over so that you can get to your next mission? Sometimes I feel that way, especially when I have an agenda.
Only if the next mission is like to smoke weed.
An agenda, yeah.
But then also it's like for so long it was like, what's in it for me? If I do this thing that is so mundane and boring for me, I'm gonna reward myself after by like activating my brain and smoking more weed. But I probably already smoked it before, so it's not gonna do that much. But I'm gonna just keep smoking, you know?
Yeah. So at what point did you decide that we just wasn't going to do it anymore? How'd that come about?
I tried acid at a festival. I was very interested in that. Was party drugs, whatever. But what really it was, you know, I just went back to weed after, because you don't get like addicted to acid necessarily. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, you
could.
You'll be homeless within like a month because you can't go to work. Like you cannot go to work on acid every single day.
I have
for 30 days in a row. I mean, well,
I didn't.
You know what I mean.
Spoiler alert! I don't work there anymore. But
but that's what I mean. Yeah. So you end up homeless. Like it's not. It's not a long-term high functioning drug.
Yeah, it's like they're although it's sad, there are like there are like benefits or like things that like people get out of these other drugs they're using. The acid is, if you've ever had acid, you know that it's like a trip. It's like a work. It's like a journey. It's not like
whole thing. No,
it's work.
No, it is a whole thing.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was ready to destroy my life, and what I mean by that is,
you were sabotaged. You were like, I'm done. I want to.
No, not even that. I I would like smoke weed late at night and listen to like Tove Lo. And I just remember being like, I'm so disturbed and like in pain. And like I think subconsciously I was like, I want to have something crazy happen to me where it like reflects how I feel, because like I already feel this way. I almost like felt like eager to have some type of like insane thing happen to me that like
sabotage.
Which, yeah, I guess that is. But which I thought would like also make my life more interesting.
Yeah.
I literally actually at some points through living crises to crises was like, at least I'm not boring. As I'm fucking hardly making it by, but I was like, whatever, everyone else. Like I told myself, at least it's not boring. Well, sure, because you're screaming for anything you need every second. Like, oh my God, you're always in need because you're living crises to crises. So I was ready to have an experience. And the Lord, he fucking answered it, or whatever the fuck it was. I knew my subconscious knew exactly what I was looking for, because I picked this boy on Bumble, and he like had the look of like he had this look of like, we're gonna go through some shit. I've been through some shit, and I'm gonna take you on some shit.
Oh no.
And like, well, how would you know that? Oh, honey, I was so right, because he picks me up, and track marks from like heroin. Heroin. I was on heroin, like shooting up for like 4 years or something, like a couple years ago. Like I was probably like, oh, like I don't fucking know what I reacted as. But then I just like, here we go. This guy, he has done the darkest of all drugs, and I am right now like a doe-eyed deer about like the world of drugs. Like I'm fucking fascinated about it. Like I'm ready for some fucking shit to happen. And I want drugs to come with, type. So this guy basically was like what my subconscious was looking for, like a damaged person I could date that had like all the experience with drugs. Why did I want that? I didn't know that I wanted that.
You needed someone down low so that you could be down low, and you wouldn't have to make
I
anybody.
needed help getting to that life that I somehow wanted. I don't know why.
No, because there were no expectations. There's no expectations. You don't have, if he's low, he's not going to expect you to be high. But with normal relationships, it's not acceptable behavior.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But that's what we do. We look for what we want and we find it.
And being with him, and he was so shit, it allowed me to like also be shit. Like I would just, smoke weed all day. Didn't really hold a job. I did hold jobs down because I fucking had to, but like not as well as I could have. Yeah. And like was, oh my God, whatever.
What was the first one?
Yeah,
what did he get you? What did he give you?
Well, I don't even know how quick this was. Oh, okay, here it was. I'd never seen cocaine before. I don't know what I thought of it. I must have known what it was, because what did I think I was putting to my nose? But we were with his sister in her car, and they're like, it's just suddenly and I'm like, yes. I don't remember what I felt like. I don't remember feeling much. But we got out of the car, and he takes it like privately. He's like, okay, is she looking? And I'm like, what? No, she's gone. And he gets out a pipe. It looked like a half-cracked black pen. Yeah. A pipe. Yeah. And he starts like smoking out of the pipe. And I was probably just like, what is that? Tell me about that. Just like a wide-eyed, curious, like this fucking dude, he fucking hit the jackpot with like the most naive person ever, who he could like if he wanted to, he could have like told me fucking anything. And he did. And I would have believed him because I knew nothing. And what he did tell me was that crack equals cocaine, and it's just as it's the same thing as snorting as it is to smoke, which it's all drugs. But I mean, if you know anything about that, like cocaine is very different, right? It's technically a little bit more accepted in a society. You might see people partying with cocaine in the bath. You don't see people partying with a crack pipe, right? But I didn't fucking know this. Yeah. So I was just like, it's a different way to consume it. And so like I started smoking it. Like I just wanted to try what it was like. And I didn't get it. I was like, well, I don't taste anything. But then I was like, well, I'll try it again, see if I like it more. And then there was like something in there, like that second time where I was like, I could start to taste like not the chemical, but like the air, like it's so hard to just explain. Like almost like the in between, you breathe in, and in between that and blowing out, there was like something that I was like, oh. And I had not yet discovered, I really hadn't done cocaine. So I didn't, not at all. Like, so I didn't know this was a stimulant. I didn't know anything about drugs. And I was finding that the more we smoked it, like the sweatier and like more like kind of like weirdly fidgety I would be, but I was also like weirdly calm. But then we would be smoking so much of it that I would like get like, and there were many nights I should have gone to the hospital. Like I was, oh my God, like he was like having to hold me from like convulsing because I just smoked so fucking much. It was unbelievable. But yeah, I wanted some shit to happen. And like, he was asking me for my money for us to buy coke or crack. And I was like, I knew, I was like, this is like a movie. Like, obviously this isn't about, like, let's do it. Like, whatever. And not even whatever, just like, okay, one more night. But no. And then we were, there it is. And then we were addicted for months and months and months. I mean, he'd already been addicted to crack. I mean, fuck. But
yeah, he was walking around with a pipe in his pocket.
Yeah.
He was addicted. Yeah. Like there's a level where you keep it at home, and there's a level where you start traveling with it.
Yeah.
And I have done crack before,
and
so I can understand the things that you're talking about. So yeah,
there's something about it that once you do finally like the taste, you really like it. It's different than cocaine. Cocaine, you keep wanting to do more bumps, you want to stay high, but crack is like you like fucking thirst for it. Like you smoke it, and then you don't get that additional hit. You're gonna just keep hitting nothing because you're just dying. So you're just basically inhaling fumes of the lighter.
Yes.
But like, my God, I would be fucking thirsty for that goddamn crack because you guys, like, people say crack is addicting for a reason. Like, it is so addicting. I mean, it's like a thirst you can't quench. And every time we would run out that night, we'd be like, we gotta get more. And would like, I don't know how we did it. And then sometimes we would try to go back a third, fourth time, Oh my God. And it was so painful sobering up. I would like take the hottest of showers, hit the weed 1,000 times, hate my life. And the next day do it all over again.
How long were you in it like that? At what age did that start?
6 to 9 months.
At what age?
Maybe like a year. 22.
So from 22, how long did you do that?
My whole year of being 22. I just met him after I turned 22, and then that was it. And then maybe like 9. I think it was a little under a year. Somehow we did eventually take a break. I don't know how we went about it. Probably because we were broke and kind of got in trouble between his mom and there was some family. Family was kind of figuring out something was weird. And so I think we just had to, I don't remember how we did it, how we were able to, but there was a time when we kind of stopped. But then, we did it again, come back. But in the end of my crack addiction with him, and this is the last time I smoked crack was with this guy. I gotta thank him. I'm sure he was smoking crack by himself in the house with me there, but pretending he didn't have it. And it's because he wanted it all himself. Well, thank you so fucking much.
Yeah.
Because I would have just got right back into it. I think I had a couple, maybe a month break. And I started randomly being like, dude, Jake's acting like he's on crack. And he totally fucking was, right? Totally was. Sweating and quiet.
He wasn't sharing, though.
No. And I remember thinking, like, if he has it, I'm mad because I want some. Yeah. But something inside of me was like, I'm not going to ask because I just don't think he has it. Which is amazing because he fucking did.
You didn't want to also get the backlash, because if you're asking a drug user if they have drugs and you know they have drugs and they're hiding the drugs from you and you ask them for drugs, they're going to get really mad.
Yes.
And you're going to get the repercussions. And I'm probably going to assume that he was like most drug users.
He hated sharing his crack with me.
Yeah, but also was he very explosive, or was he?
Yeah.
You're not going to ask shit. But thankfully, he was, what's the word, bogarting? He was like being stingy, like bogarting that shit.
I don't know what that word is.
It's a term. It's a drug term.
Oh.
Not sharing.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with Humphrey Bogart. I don't really know, but I think that's probably where the term comes from. So you've left this man.
Yeah.
But you continued drug use after you guys split up. You guys split up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First real love. Like, I loved him,
Yeah. Love is real.
And it was an abusive love. And I really like fed into, like, it's almost like I loved him more because of the abuse, because I like latched onto him because of the abuse and the drugs. And
it's called trauma bond.
Yes. Well, and he was so unpredictable because he was supposed, if drinking was just, if he drank, all but get the hell away from him, fucking get away. You're toast.
Was he violent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess I was just young, and the first year I was just like, I don't care that like we have problems and that he has his problems. Like, I'm going to stick with him because I love him. And I have an addiction too. So we're just like meant to be like, whatever. Like, I'm sure we had like different random things that we liked that I was like, yes, he works out, but
codependent.
Yeah.
Y'all became codependent. And that's that's not anything that's not normal.
I've always been codependent in general. I've always had like if I don't have a boyfriend that I'm latched onto, I have like one girlfriend and we're just like.
And do you deep down inside, do you have any thought that has anything tied to do with your father, your bio? No, because you feel so strong in your conviction.
A lot of people have asked me.
You do feel strongly enough in your conviction. And I think I feel comfortable asking you because
we're
not like maybe one of your really close friends might be like, no, she's already made that quite clear. But for me,
no. Even then, like a lot of people, I feel like everyone that has kind of heard a little bit of my story has like wondered if it has to do with.
A tiny bit. I just am assuming.
I don't think so.
But no, well, and you would be the only one that would know.
Yeah. I really don't think so.
Yeah. No, it was just curious.
Yeah.
So after you got away from Stingy, we'll call him Stingy. After you got away from Stingy, how did you gather yourself back up? Because that's not something did you just jump back into something that was just as...
Well, I had to like run away from him because we lived together and then the lease ended and we both moved back into our respective parents. His dad's was literally a couple blocks from my parents. Unbelievable. So after we moved out, second year, then I was like, and I had my cap puffed by then. And I remember just like being so sad because I never got to see her because I was so attached to him. I would be with him all the time. Where's I going? And it was so bad. I remember one time my therapist had to like talk me through how to find him at his job, get the garage door opener and the key back when we lived in the apartment. And like she walked me through what to do. Like I had to go back to the apartment, pack up all his stuff, bring it to his mom's, like completely, because had been very freaky the night before. So this was like, okay, do the, all of these things, and then of course I would go back to him. On again, off again for a long time. Really, really just not good. And I couldn't let him go. I just like couldn't. I was like sick with like not being able to let him go. So I was finally like, but then something inside, which is funny because I was like less strong this past time in drugs than I was back then. And I knew less about shit, but I was like strong enough to be like, in 2 weeks, I'm fucking moving out and he's not going to know where I go. Like, he knows where I live now because I'm with my parents. He's not going to fucking know. And so that I did it, like literally like a movie, like, went to his dad's and told his dad what I was going to do right before he did it to like warn him because like dude acts fucking insane. Mm-hmm. You can't predict him. And then like blocked him on everything and moved. And was, 2 weeks go by and he finally found a way to like contact me. He was like Venmoing me to try to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like he Venmoed me $10. What the fuck, you dumb bitch? And my friends saw it and they're like, Corinne, are you okay? And I look at my Venmo like, oh, that's just Jake. And they're like, keep the money. And like my nice ass Venmoed it back to him. I should have just kept that 10.
Very resourceful.
Very, yeah.
Yeah,
I say he was not. Yeah, isn't that funny? She blocked me and everything. I'm gonna Venmo her some money.
That did not sound that crazy to me. I'm like, oh hey, he found a way to talk to you. I mean, so you gotta give him that. Like,
no, I know. I'm like, okay. He's like passionate. No, and then of course, like the toxic part of me is like in love with how much he is trying to fight for me.
He's reaching out to me.
Text, yeah. Oh, and he was texting me from like different iClouds and like all this. And finally he got through and I gave him my address. I came over.
Oh la la.
Yeah.
That was
gave him my address, he came over. But at this point it was like we were aware that we weren't gonna quite make it. And he was so possessive and scary. Like I wasn't allowed to have any guy friends that like because we had even this amount of break, I knew we could never go back because he would just like die over what he didn't know and even nothing even happened. But like, the possessive jealous type, like, he would, so, but he did come back over a couple times. And then meanwhile, I had the evenings to myself. It was about the pandemic. I was just serving and I remembered like that stimulant feeling. And I had done some like actually straight, like just cocaine partying with a couple of friends. So I was like, oh my gosh, let's just do it. So yeah, I just started buying a whole ton of cocaine and doing it all in one night. Like a stupid amount, like an amount you'd split with like 4 people. I was doing all to myself in one night. Like and then having no chill because I didn't know, like I had no reflection at that point. So I was on social, this is the beginning of my social media bender, but I would be saying some fucking weird ass cracked out shit online because I had no chill. And I'm already an outgoing person and love sharing, like can't help but share my thoughts. So when I had a thought, I would fucking put it on the internet. Every boop, 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 the most weirdest ass fucking weird shit, right? Embarrassing.
Guilty.
Yeah. So that was that me doing, and that wasn't very long because I met Nick, my current, the love of my life. I met Nick. And things were good from there. He didn't, I'm not going to be with someone who does cocaine. That's very, not safe.
He had boundaries.
Healthy boundaries. I could see the stock difference between him and my ex and what a nice person he was. And I was into him right away. I mean, once you're into someone, you're into someone. But also I could see like, this is probably like a really good guy. So I was like, I am not fucking this up. I don't give a fuck if I just broke up with Jake. So I like fibbed to him a little bit at like how recent it was. And he found out like a week later. I mean, there's no secrets, but, I'm giving up cocaine. And, I guess at the time I had the strength to do that.
Yeah.
Which surprised me later on that I was able to do that. But 3 years, I didn't do coke.
Look at your conviction. So you do have that. You have a conviction in there. And you just said you don't know how you did it, but you did it.
Well, I did it because I had a crush on a boy.
Yeah, but that's conviction. Don't discredit your inner monologue, whether it's driven by sex or money. Mm-hmm. It's very powerful. And that's you. Because a lot of people wouldn't, there's no conviction.
Yeah.
There's no amount of anything, no amount of love, no amount of money, no amount of world or power. They will destroy their lives for it. And so that was really cool. You got a good break, a healthy break. Were you fully break or were you like sneaky?
Oh no. I didn't lie to him in those 3 years because I was like I was a loyal queen. I did everything right. I mean, I loved him.
No pot?
Oh God, I smoked a ton of pot.
Just pot. Okay, yeah.
No, I didn't do anything that he didn't know about. Actually, the only thing I did that he didn't know about that he eventually did, and I was like, I was so innocent back then. I was like hiding a nicotine vape. And I remember just being like, how can I ever marry him if I'm lying to him about this? You know, just like, eventually, whatever. But like, so back then, that was like my biggest fucking concern. Besides the fact that my brain actively hurt and I was still smoking weed 24/7. On top of that, I took my Jake trauma and like buried it super far. And every night Nick said I would be screaming in my sleep. I would wake up covered, like completely covered in sweat, like wet. And I was always dreaming about trying to find my ex, but I could never quite find him. I was like so close, and I kept missing him in the dream. And then one day, we were a good 6 to 8 months in. Like we had bought a puppy by then, Nick and I. And I was like on social media, and I guess I was still friends with his sister, and she like posted a picture of him and like a baby mama, and like she was almost popping. So I was with Nick for like 6 months. She was like about 8 to 9 months along, and I'm like, oh. So I don't know. I looked at that photo, and like it was like something exploded inside of me in like pain. I'm talking like.
Yeah.
Not I say my brain hurt and it didn't actually physically hurt, but it made the mundane hurt. This was this heartbreak was actually painful. I had actual body pains all up and down. Oh my God.
Why not you? Why her? Yeah, all the like.
Oh my God. It just.
Is this going to change him? Is he going to be better for this baby? You know, yeah, all of that.
And then also just like the misery of just seeing him with someone else. I mean,
you know she's miserable. You do know she was miserable. You do know that nothing was different.
No.
They all think that they can change them.
No. And I didn't think, I wasn't like, shit, I should have left Nick for Jake in that moment. No. But I was like, I was fucking heartbroken. I buried that.
Of course.
Never dealt with it. And then I saw that, and it literally, it's so weird. For a full week, I felt severe, fierce body pain. And I remember like every lunch break, I was like, my therapist was really great at this time. She would like be ready for me because I would call having a full panic attack. Like I was like not okay. Like this just like fucking destroyed me, this news. I mean, fuck. For a full week, physical pain. And then suddenly it stopped. But I didn't like the physical pain stopped and it like eased and it got easier to comprehend. Of course, that wasn't like it. Like I still had nightmares and I still had to address all that later. But the most painful heartbreak I've ever experienced was that week of, oh my God, it was torturous. Torture. Do you think I would have caved and done drugs then or drank a ton or something? But I think like I just didn't think that was an option. I just didn't think I could, which I could have. But maybe I had like just told myself that wasn't allowed anymore. It didn't even cross my mind, which is interesting.
So when did you next go again? When did you go,
Yeah.
You know what? My brain's hurting a little bit and I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I started looking for it the next year or so. Some crazy shit happened. I had a job and the coordinator who hired me, gave me my salary, he hit on me. And I was not expecting it. I still felt like I was in my younger 20s, so I still felt like I was the kid at work and like everyone else was like the adults, even though like I was an adult too. But it was very, I mean, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it. So that was weird. And it made me question my relationship with Nick, I was like, wait, maybe I could be like, because once he hit on me, I was like, wait, I'm attracted to him because he hit on me. So then I was like, wait, should I not have been so hasty to get into a relationship? Because like, maybe I should have like, why am I so willing to like this guy? Like, I was really fucking confused at this point after this dude hit on me. And eventually I just had to quit the job because I had to tell Nick about it. We were going to see if I could still work there, but like, it was just too flirty. I mean, he was sending some flirty fucking shit over email. So I quit. And I was depressed because of that. And so I was like, okay, I know. I'll visit Nick's sister. Nick's sister lived in San Francisco. So I'll cap up that kind of weird pain with being able to travel. Because here's another thing. I never got to travel. I never got to go to New York City, do my Broadway thing, or LA, do my movie thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, fine. Okay, I'm gonna travel. So I go to San Francisco, and this is the first time I've been to San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Been to LA. I thought I wanted to live in LA. Nope, I actually wanted to live in San Francisco. Oh my God. I fell in love. I fucking fell in love. Oh my God. So I went there. Well, Nick and I went there a prior year, and I was like, my whole body hurt with jealousy that his sister got to be there. But I just put it aside because I would love Nick. But then this time when I went by myself, I was like, and after this thing happened with my job, and like, that dude had gotten her pregnant, and I'd overcome that. And just like, I didn't know what I was doing in my career because I quit and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I should move to I'm gonna move to San Francisco. I had like $1 to my name.
Big plans.
Yeah. But with the help of his sister, I thought I could do it because I was very close with her. Yeah. But that's also his sister. And I maneuvered it, I finessed it in a way that I could like stay with her while I was looking for a place, but not upset her friendship by like upsetting my relationship with Nick. So I was like trying to balance, and I also didn't want to lie to anyone. Like I was trying to like do the right thing while actively doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I can see this is wrong, but I really just like, I was like, yeah, at this point I was like, nothing has worked out in my life, and I just have to try. I have to do it. So I grabbed my cat, one-way ticket, packed up everything I could, and I moved to San Francisco. Said goodbye to Nick. It was like really, I literally said goodbye to my parents. Like they were sad. Like I freaked everyone out. Like they were like, my parents were not happy, and they loved Nick, and they thought this was like not a good step. My God. And so yeah, I get out there. I did have a work from home job at that point, so I thought maybe I could make that work for a little bit. And I did for a little bit, but yeah, at this point I was like starting. So here comes the addiction. So I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm in San Francisco. I should be happy, right? But I wasn't. But I was okay. Smoke weed. Then I would like take a ton of mushrooms, like just mushrooms all day, every day. So like San Francisco became like a huge place for me to just trip on mushrooms. And through that, I was like, damn, I wonder if anyone does like stimulants around here. Like I hadn't stimulated my brain in so long. And I remember that felt good, but I didn't remember how good. And I asked around, and no one that I knew had it. And I ended up getting in trouble because his sister told him that I was looking for it, and it wasn't a good look. But it gets so much worse. Like they think that was bad at that point. Yeah, no, but I mean, I ended up coping with one of my. Oh, okay, sorry, I was my teeth.
Are you okay?
So I moved there with my cat, and like, she thinks I'm going to be there for a month, and he thinks I'm moving there permanently, and I pretty much was, but I was trying to like stay there to get a house, but whatever. Okay, so we go, yeah. Anyway, we're like, let's go to the Barbie movie, and like drink, and I had like 4 or 5 like fucking wine coolers, like within like 2-3 hours. I was actually like, I don't remember anything besides like flashes. But I do know that like the person that had caused me to leave the other job, he texted me like at the perfect time when I was getting blacked out drunk in the movies. And so I was like texting this person the whole movie. And then, Bianca's sister saw, and at the end of the movie, I was blacked out. But apparently I was like just saying some stupid shit. And she had every right to be mad, right? I ran away. I just had like a flash of me playing pool at a bar, but that's it. And then I woke up on the couch of their place that I was staying with. And I know some crazy shit happened. I know some shit happened that night. Yeah.
You mean like between you and his sister?
No, like I went and did some crazy shit. And then like found myself back home.
Yeah, so you were able to go find drugs?
I don't think so.
Oh, do you feel comfortable chatting?
I don't know. I don't know if I was blacked out. But if I'm a betting woman, I met up with a man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You think with that one man?
Oh, no. Because he was in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I was in San Francisco.
So you think you just met someone?
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, yeah. So the next
day,
go over? Well, I don't. Yeah. I never told her that. But she knew something was. She knew I was like not being fair to Nick, right? With the texting other guy and being a fucking complete just mess, not knowing what the fuck I was doing.
Well, she could tell you were struggling.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, asking for stimulants and shit. So like there's nothing, it was not going well. And I also I was like frantically trying to get a job where I could make some extra money so I could like get my own place. So, and then I got this bottle girl job. And I was like, but so I thought I made it. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna live on my own here. But it all came fucking crashing down after that drunk night. And basically, like, yeah, she just sent me packing. I had to go home. And I was only there for like 4 days. Took everything I had, including my cat. And I had to go. I failed. And I hated myself for it. Truly, I was like, I failed myself once again. I was so depressed. It was so sad.
How'd you get yourself out of that?
Cocaine.
Yeah, you came home and started using.
Finally, I started getting into stimulants. Because when I got home, my work from home job ended up laying me off. So then I started to become a server, and I think I said this the other day, about a month into my serving gig, one of the girls and I look at each other, should we go get drinks? Yeah. And she goes, should we get some Coke? And it had been years, right? I did not fucking hesitate. It had been 3 years at least. And there was not a beat. And I went, yes. Should we get Coke? Yes. And like, in my head, I screamed, no, I can't do that. I can't disappoint Nick anymore. Oh my God, but then we did Coke. And oh my God, did it feel good. Fucking hell, I was missing that. It was like my brain finally was zapped and stimulated. I hadn't been stimulated in so long. I was not. So then I was really like, fuck. Coke. I went through all my money. Spent all paycheck to paycheck. I would just like live to drink and do Coke every night, basically. And like I was going nowhere fast. And like I couldn't keep doing this to Nick. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit the restaurant industry, and I'm gonna go back to working at an office because then I have to be mature. Well, no, I just ended up like continue doing what I was doing, but with a 9 to 5 instead of like a night job. So it was like fucking worse. But I maintained that job because I really needed it. And it wasn't in the my God, just nothing was there was nowhere to turn. I was out of money, couldn't give up. I just couldn't seem to give up the Coke. Even if I wanted to, I would do it. And then I was like, well, maybe it's connected to drinking. So I was like, let me try not drinking. And that actually worked. But then I just started doing Coke anyway, like a couple months later. But I didn't drink. So I was like, I'm not drinking.
Drinking, yeah.
And this is that trick-ass time in my life when like I was 5 months alcohol free, everyone. And I was like, people were just like, good job, girl.
They love it.
But I had actually never been more fucked up ever. Like I was the most fucked up I had ever been once I gave up drinking, because then I was just like, if I'm not drinking, I have that much more room to put drugs in my system. And I fucking did. And then came my drug of choice, because the problem with the cocaine was the crash, and like it wouldn't keep me awake like for a long amount of time, right? Mm-hmm. So I found Adderall, and like that kind of filled in the problems I had and really helped everything. Like it almost was like what I was looking for this whole time. Because the cocaine you would sometimes get too high. And it'd be like,
yeah.
You know? And like the come down is, that's how I would describe it. But then with
Adderall.
Thank you. I was like, what drug was I on at this point? With Adderall, although it was instant release, there was no uncomfortability coming up or down. And for the first time, I was like pleased to exist. It didn't like bother me to have a minute pass by and let me tell you, this had been after years of just the mundane killing me, fucking killing me. So I would have to smoke 24/7 just to like exist. And that was boring too. So it was like about to feed into like, this was about to be the answer. Also, this second time around into Coke, I'd slowly gained weight after like the crazy skinniness I was at years prior. And then my second Coke addiction, I was like, well, perfect. This will get me skinny again. But that didn't work this time.
This time it's
But then, the Adderall. And so then the Adderall was helping me lose weight. So it was just like everything was doing everything I needed it to do. It was keeping me up through work. It was making me enjoy my life. I wasn't eating, getting skinny. There was no problems. Except for the fact that I didn't have a fucking prescription. So like, where was I going to get more?
It's highly regulated. And people, like you said, they don't want to give it away once they have it. They don't want to give it away. Nobody that's taking their Adderall is giving it.
Some people will sell it, but you have to fucking
it's very expensive. And it's very expensive,
Very expensive.
And then you don't even know if you're going to get it. Yeah.
So I learned that the hard way because, about five days into like doing Adderall that I got from a friend, but then that was like going to be all she gave me. I was like, fuck. What the fuck am I going to do? So I just like messaged the regular amount of people that I would have for like Coke or like acid or something. But no one had Adderall. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started expanding my search to the point where like if you are in my circle, I probably fucking asked you if you have Adderall in this past year. And I'm really sorry. If I did, I think I scared a girl. She was like, do I give tweaker vibes? And I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. I literally have been asking everyone. It is not you. I'm the tweaker. Like, I just like outed myself completely by like, I just had to find the Adderall. So I did everything I could, asked everyone I could. And like through asking every single person I've ever fucking know, I found like a couple contacts. And one actually had the Adderall, like the 30 milligram instant release that I really liked. But he told me that they were like made in his friend's lab. And they were like, they were Adderall that wasn't legal because it had like meth. It would like the part that wasn't meth, that isn't meth and Adderall that makes it like legal, is replaced by meth in this pill. So it was meth pill, I guess. I didn't know there were meth pills. It was a meth pill. Fucking meth. But I still was like, Adderall is meth, like whatever. So it still did about the same thing for me anyway. I was living. I was having so much fun. And then also my tolerance was going up. So I was like, I went from taking 30 milligrams a day to 50, 60, 100, 120. Heart attack. Like, you, girl. Like, that's a heart attack. And by the way, if people don't know, like 30 is like the max dose they will give you like at a doctor's office, right? So like if I started at 30 and got to 120, like what the fuck, you know? And every day, and finally I knew I got what I wanted, actually. I finally got what I wanted, which was this deep, dark story of a true addiction. And it was unlike my crack addiction because this time, although I was like bodily addicted before and I wanted it, this time I absolutely required the Adderall or I was not gonna be able to do anything. Yeah. I was gonna die in bed for days. And I had withdrawn once before from the Adderall and it was absolutely miserable. I assume it's no different than opiate. I mean, fuck. It was full withdrawals. It was absolutely miserable, sick as hell, couldn't get up, sleeping for whatever. Just, I would do anything to avoid those withdrawals, right? Again. So every single day, I would take my Adderall dose that I had acquired and then would spend the rest of the day while I'm high panicking and scrambling over how to get my next high the next day. And that is, I know how like true users live. Like my ex had told me, like when he was fully into heroin, he would like, his whole day would just be devoted to getting enough money to shoot up and then doing it all over again the next day. And that is absolutely what my day was. 1,000%. Like,
I was like that with hydrocodone growing up. Hydrocodone, I would steal it. I would steal it from friends. I would steal it from anybody. I was like that with Ambien.
I would have. Oh, okay.
And I would take Ambien and stay awake.
Oh yeah, that makes you.
I wouldn't go to bed.
Yeah.
So I do have, it was hydrocodone, and God, it's not even a controlled substance. It's a, what is it called? My mom takes it a lot. Anyway, it's like a hydrocodone, but it's called Ultram. No, it's called Ultram, and it's not even a narcotic. It's not a. You don't have to give your driver's license for it at the window. But so yeah, I've been in that sort of
that literal, like it's like space. It's different than any other survival mode.
You have to know where it's come you have to know that the plan is in place to have it, because if not, then you have to make plans on how you're going to survive until you can find more. I won't take pills because of this exact spiral. Yeah.
And it's truly like nothing like I've ever experienced. Although I went through an abusive relationship. I mean, I went through all kinds of trauma throughout my life, but this
you plan your day around it. You plan your travel around it. It's like, how many pills do I have? I have 10 pills. Okay, if I do 2 in the morning, 2 right before lunch, 2 after lunch, 2 in the evening.
But then like all day, my brain, I'm an addict.
And then I'm like, now where am I going to get more?
Yeah. And so I'm also like, I'm saving one for tomorrow, but like I'm an addict, so I'm like, I gotta take it now. So then if I have more, all day my brain is like, just take more, just take more, just take more. Like just no peace, no chill.
Yeah.
Have to find more. And also like, if you have more, just take more.
Yeah.
So that was like actually the craziest time of my life for survival, because
don't do
at that
pills.
Point I
don't do drugs.
At that point I knew that like that I was fully in addiction, like it was in like the fucking movies, right? Like I had clearly been addicted before to things, but like not like this, where I mean, I did a lot. I did some shit to get these drugs.
No, there's definitely things that are very shameful. That
I didn't have money to afford.
They're not shameful. We take shame in it. Nobody's labeled, and anybody that labels anything shameful can go and shame themselves with their shamefulness, because you are the only person that's in control of your own shame. And a lot of times they're just mistakes. And sometimes we're really, really desperate, and that's surviving. And it doesn't make it okay, and we're not putting a Band-Aid on it and calling it, a boo-boo. They're real fucking mistakes. But we pay for them. We pay for them, and we're living in it. It's a hell. It is a hell to depend on a substance.
It actually was I remember actively thinking, this is hell and I'm in it. And I was like, it's actually, one of the guys that provided me with these meth pills. He wasn't giving it to me on a specific day. And I was like, probably screaming at him. And he was like, he said something like, seek Jesus. And I went, I can't. I'm already in fucking hell. And I've been here.
Yeah.
And he was probably like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Serious. That was like, that portion of my life was like none other. I still think about that and I'm like, did that really happen?
So from there, how did you get to treatment? Where'd that come?
Yeah, okay. So I was trying to like be a functioning drug addict, right? Like willing, like, and at this point, even Nick knew that like I needed, it was so bad that like even Nick was letting me take these pills because if I stopped, I would be withdrawing and like really, So it was like that bad, okay. And he was like, well, what's worse, I mean, fuck. But I was still trying to make my life work as a functioning drug addict. And like, I almost like took pride in that I was a full-on drug addict in hiding. Like I was like, I still am in a treatment. But I had this like, one of my besties had a bachelorette on a weekend. And it was like the day before I was going to leave at work. And I had to leave early, but I'd run out of like PTO. So I was like, okay, I'm going to come in really early. But I'd actually already been up for 3 nights in a fucking row. 3?
Mm-hmm.
3. And I was like, well, I'm going to sleep this night before I go to work. But I couldn't. So then I was like, more Adderall and I'll be fine. Well, no. I don't know if I took too much, if it was a combination of sleep or what. But did you know that you can trip balls on meth?
I'm sure. With
It's
any
like
amount
the
of
opposite of mushrooms.
sleep. Yeah, I'm
opposite
sure.
of mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's like if you're tripping, but you're like in hell. So like I actually, not kidding, like I was actively sitting at my desk and this is so wild. I mean, here's my skin and here's my bones. Like I was 2 separate people, like bone and skin. And I couldn't, my heart was hurting so bad. It was like stabbing. I looked up online, says if you're overdosing, your eyes are like as small as a needle. So I like limped. And by the way, this is how I was breathing, like trying to be really quiet because I was at work and I didn't want anyone to know. I was too afraid to say anything. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to like breathe, not painfully, but get it in. And I was like literally, like it was sad. I like somehow find my way to the bathroom and I look in the mirror and I couldn't even see my eyeballs. They were soaked in. I'm like, oh. And at this point, I wish I had just turned to my coworkers and I'm like, can you take me to the hospital? But I just didn't know I could say that. So I think I sat there on my desk for 12 hours that day. Like I didn't go home when I could have. I just kept sitting. As like a flesh and bones or whatever. It almost sounds like holy. Mm-hmm. I was flesh, blood, and bones. Like I was like specifically 2 things, might have been 3, but I'm telling you, I was not one. Yeah. Like my actual soul and skin, whatever was on top. Like I felt like my bones were sitting on top of my skin or vice versa. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, this has to end. And I'm like, and I've never been afraid to smoke weed, but I was so high that I was like, I can't get higher. Like I can't, but then I was like, well, what if I smoke weed and it helps? So I was like, what if I die because I'm already fucking dying. So I took a big old hit of weed after those 12 hours and I actually felt, and here I am in my car seat, here and like my bones, here's my skin, here's my bones. My bones literally, as I inhaled and blew out, like they sunk back into my skin and I like stopped tripping balls. I'm so not kidding. Like, this
cannabinoid is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, then I was like, thank you, because like my heart stopped hurting. I was so then I was like, let's go party. So I went to the mall and spent so much money because the next day I was supposed to go to my
Correct.
Yes. So much money, okay? And I was walking around the mall like a fucking crackhead, like talking to myself. No, it was actually, well, I had these like crap shoes on and I was like, I'm gonna buy a new pair of shoes. So I like took the shoes off that I was wearing, threw them away, put these on bottom, and I was like talking to myself the whole time. Like people were like, what the fuck? Like clearly I was fucked up. Okay. And then, so yeah, a huge shopping spree. I got in a car accident on the way home. Who cares? And just kept going. I'm not kidding. I got in a fucking car accident on the way home and I just kept driving.
So you did the whole wreck, the whole train. That day was like, choo-choo. And I'm not smiling because of
Oh, no, that was a day.
This is like a very common theme. Like, it's like you said, the bridge is burning down and I'm going to go ahead and get some gasoline. Let's just go ahead and combust it.
Yeah. Well,
she got your heart
and also, here's the thing, I also felt invincible.
Yeah,
I figured like
you just stopped your heart from hurting.
Yes.
You had just
and I was like,
cured overdose.
Let's go to this bachelorette this weekend. But actively had like, I did have a certain amount. I had a decent amount at that point, which I conned my way into getting. But I had a decent amount of Adderall. So I was like, in my head, I was like, I have to take 5 a day or something insane on this trip, or I'll start withdrawing and like I can't be on the trip. But they'll know it's, but I was also like losing my brain like at the same time. Like the more you like, the brain keeps going because you're not sober. And anyway, so I get home from the mall with all that in mind. The next day I want to go, and I'm like, and like I have Nick. I'm starting to show Nick my my purchases, and I don't know. I just like all of a sudden, like as I was holding something up, I was like thinking about breathing, and I was like waiting for my next breath to come, and it like wouldn't come. It feels good to breathe. And I was, when you think about breathing, and then you like can't figure out how you normally breathe without thinking about it. So then I was like thinking about it, and I wasn't breathing. And I was like, Nick, I actually, hang on. Like, and I've never had asthma. I've never not been able to breathe. So this was weird. This is fucking scary. So I'm actually like a cow quickly on the ground, like heaving like a dog does when they throw up, except like trying to like work a breath into me. And I was like getting these baby little shallow breaths. Oh my God, it was so scary. And Nick was saying, "I'll take you to the hospital." And I was like, if I go to the hospital, I will stop breathing on the way because I'm so scared. Like I couldn't even think about anything because I was thinking about breathing made me stop breathing, let alone thinking about going to the hospital. So Nick threw my ass in the shower, and that fucking helped, the steam and shit. So I just, was in there trying to calm down, trying to be able to breathe, got out, repeat. I'm on the floor, like in a ball, begging to breathe. Like my boyfriend watched me like probably almost like he was just, and I don't call, I don't know. I feel so bad. Yeah, I put him through some shit, but he had to watch that. And then finally, this was like day 4 or 5 of me not sleeping. And he was like, he like actually forced me to go to bed. He literally put his hand on my eyes.
Said you were no longer in control of this situation.
And at that point I was afraid to sleep because if you haven't slept in a certain amount of time, it's like it's scary to sleep. I was like, what if I die in my sleep, especially after not being able to like breathe well? So I was starting to freak out about that. But then I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh my God, I just needed to fucking sleep. I could breathe better and blah, blah. That was a really bad day. Close to the end. That was close to the end. But that wasn't quite the end yet.
Yeah. So take us to the end.
Well, at this point, I had exhausted my resources and tarnished my name. Offered photos of myself so I could, anything I could do as a woman. I needed these fucking drugs. So, of course, and also just another reason why I hated myself was because I was just continuously doing this crap shit in order to get I had to actively be a terrible person to continue what I call terrible, like, you know, not being faithful or whatever.
Don't be
like,
not nice, but yes, you did
yeah,
it. You did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Something that I didn't want to be doing, but I had to be doing in order to get this drug. But so, okay, so after the overdose day, you know, Nick took all, I had like a supply. He took them. And so we concluded, like, I can't go to this bachelorette that weekend because, first of all, like, I probably was going to have a psychotic break. Yeah. And I was not about to have my sweet angel friends see that. Like, so in the end, it like saved my butt not going because that would have been, I don't know what would have happened. It wouldn't have been good, dude.
Could have lost some friendships and things, yeah.
So thank
you
fuck.
knew better.
I did. But I was also so upset because I was bound and determined not to let my drug addiction get in the way of my life that
it was getting in the way.
I know.
It was getting in the way.
But I didn't want it to get in the way of friendships that I had like continued to grow, to water. Isn't it kind of
funny how terribly we treat ourselves? Because it's like, I was scared to death to go to sleep because I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
But you're taking lethal amounts of drugs. That's what I'm saying.
Or like
the addiction
actively
brain
like took a pill that I didn't even know if it was Adderall. So
the addiction brain is a very it's not
like it doesn't like not really make
any sense.
Yeah.
It's very manipulative. It wants to tell you what it thinks it wants to hear. It's a strange one. So you did not get to go to the bachelorette party.
No.
And how did the rest of the events turn out?
Well, after that overdose was the last time I was at work until treatment. So I somehow was able to like communicate to my job that I had a substance abuse disorder, and then they put me something about I was able to get disability, but I had to be in treatment first.
Yeah.
So I was like, ugh. There was a couple of weeks of just like nothing where I refused to go to treatment, but I couldn't go to work because I couldn't go to work. And then also like a couple days later, we had this a funeral for a past coworker that passed. And I was like, okay, I'm still withdrawing, but I should probably go to this funeral because I thought I was going to be at the bachelorette, but now I can. And I was like, let me see if I can get some Adderall that I know Nick took. Overturned the house. Like I was looking for like a bug or something, you know? And I found it. Oh, was I happy? Oh, I found it. Just had to like literally overturn the whole house, but I got it. And I had taken like a 3-4 day break. So I was like ready, like fresh. I had like my tolerance. So I go to this funeral, you know, and then it's my past serving people. So everyone's out to a bar afterwards. Everyone is shit-faced drunk. I didn't drink, but you better believe I was on like at least my 60th milligram, maybe even more of Adderall at that point. And really weird things. Like this was I'm pointing this out. I'm telling this because this never happened to me. So I knew something was fucking wrong. But I got punched in the face by a woman. And I think I got punched in the face the weekend prior. And so I was like, I have never been in any kind of bar fights ever. I've never been punched. So I'm like, maybe something's not right. Like, because I was being really like
Mally.
No, I like projecting firm, poignant. Like I was like speaking my truth. Yeah, and to be fair, I was right. This girl was like being really mean to this other girl and told her to stop. But like if I hadn't have been on Adderall, I would have been like, oh, I'll tell her to stop like when we're not like at a bar drinking for a girl, but this funeral. But I didn't have that wherewithal, so I told her to stop. And yeah, no, she hit me in the face, and yeah. But so this is what she did. She hit me in the face as I had my lip gloss out, and I didn't want her to like see that she upset me, so I was like, she hits like a bitch as I'm like putting my lip gloss on. But so the bartenders cared more about getting her out of there than my coworkers. I haven't talked to any of them bitches again. They didn't do anything. No one texted me. I just left. But I knew something was really wrong. I was like, okay, I've never been in fights like this. Like, yeah, I felt like I didn't do anything wrong to deserve these punches. But like at the same time, if that was true, why was this just happening now? And I've never had that. Like never.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So that was kind of like a big tell for me that things aren't going how I think they're going, you know?
Yeah.
And then I had like another 10 pills left and no work. So I was like, awesome. I'm going to sit on the couch and get high all day. And that was like all I wanted to do. And I was getting pressure from, at this point, I think my friends had given me the intervention or had just about given me this intervention. And so like my friend group wanted me to, the secret was out.
Yeah.
The secret was fucking out at this point. My parents knew. Everyone was like asking me every second, they knew I was looking for treatment, you know, but I was looking for treatment, but I was like not really looking for treatment, right? I think I eventually overdosed one more time before I was scared enough to like wake up the next morning, take a half tab of meth that I had left in order to get myself to do the intake for Hazleton, where I begged them not to put me in inpatient. Please do. I can't. I've never been an inpatient. I'm so scared. I have to be with my boyfriend, and it'll help me quit if I could just be with him, but do outpatient. And they said, okay, no, you you should come tonight.
Yeah,
you know, like. So I went the next day. And there I went to fucking treatment, and I didn't think I ever would. I was like, I'm gonna fucking avoid this to the day I die. But it was, I had nowhere else to go. I was basically suicidal without those meds too, and like the things I had done to get them, and like the fucking shit I posted online, outing myself to everyone I've ever known.
Those are crap.
You know, like I didn't want to, my biggest fear was then sobering up and thinking about all that. But actually spoiler alert, that wasn't that bad.
Mm-mm.
It was actually, it was anticipating it that was bad. Like, but I was so scared of so many things, especially realizing everything that I had done. And that's why I just wanted to stay high so I didn't have to think about it. My boyfriend and my mom and my brother took me to treatment. February 20th, I think, of this past February.
Very proud. Very proud of that. I have some questions on that note, and I think this is where we're going to get some good answers. So, on that note, talking about treatment, there is a really big question. I have looked for questions that family members have, friends have, spouses, employers. They might notice one of their, employees that they find really, that has worked for them for a long time, and they notice that there might be something, a way to help support their employees. Like you said, your job helped support you in looking for treatment, that they would help pay for it.
Well, they like legally had to, like
in your state.
Because like I had worked there a certain amount of time, and I had declared that I had substance abuse. So like, and HR wasn't like, this company sucks, but like legally they weren't supposed to, HR was supposed to keep it to themselves, and then like no one else would know, and then like I would get information that I would submit, and then I would get paid by disability for going to treatment, which I eventually did, but
it didn't go down like that.
Well, it was a little it was complicated, and I also was kind of hoping and thinking I could like somehow like get paid for the weeks I wasn't in treatment that I was just using on the couch.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was like really fucking pissed about her.
Yeah, you're like, that didn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
So what makes someone feel not sick enough to deserve inpatient treatment? Why did you feel that you didn't deserve to go to treatment until it was not your, well, I mean, it was your choice, but
I don't think I ever didn't think I deserved. I didn't think of treatment in that way where like it was a reward. I didn't think it was for me. Knew it wasn't for me. Factually just was, I mean.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, I just like, this won't help me.
Do you think a lot of addicts have that thought process?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a way for you to kill that thought process now, today, in 2025, in today?
Staying in therapy, especially group therapy. Like, and this is, I have to get back into it, but like, it's almost like you train at the gym, right? You need to fucking continue to work on this brain of yours, this mental health, this muscle. And if staying in group therapy, which is where I really found some true healing and treatment, I think would be like the most beneficial and what I would speak on today. Yeah.
What was the difference where you thought, okay, this is no longer like your boyfriend, your family? This is no longer just needing rest. This is literally like, because you said there was a point where he was helping. He was like, well, look, every time she tries to come off, she's like dying of withdrawals. And so maybe she just needs some rest. Maybe if she just takes them, she'll be able to get level and get the rest she needs.
Taper it off. Yeah, yeah.
So what is the difference, do you think, now that you can look back into the past where you go, that was needing rest, and this was, I'm going to die if I don't go and get help?
How do you mean? I'm not.
Do you feel that there was a point in your active using where you go, I don't actually need to go, and I don't need to go to bed. I need to go and get help. Like, I can't do this beyond, like sleeping it off. That shower isn't going to work. Sleeping it off isn't going to work. Hot's not going to work. You never thought of those.
No.
Was it not even an option?
I had, well, hang on. Did I have, was I out of drugs? Like completely?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
In this scenario?
With drugs or without drugs?
Oh, I would have never, if I had drugs, ever.
You never think, I should just rest and I'll feel better later.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, no.
Fuck no.
That's an honest answer. Yeah, because there's no right or wrong for any of these. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, not what I would advise, but that is the answer. That
was your answer. Nope, yeah. Do you have any idea why you waited until crisis? Why you waited until that point? Do you feel, I think it goes back to that first point where you don't feel you deserve to get better?
I just thought that getting better meant being sober, and that was something I couldn't do.
Yeah. No, I can see, there's a lot of,
even with weed, I didn't want to do that. But then I was like, I can't give up Adderall.
It was like just so you were on a constant, like you'd be doing really, really good. And then life would smack you. And then it'd be like, okay, well, now I'm just going to join the ride. And then, oh, now we're doing really well. And then, life, hello, smack me again, And so it just seems like you were on a very long roller coaster.
Absolutely. And my mental health deteriorating as it went on.
Do you think...
My mental health deteriorating with like self-esteem that was already terrible from college, and my self-hate of weight, pile on top of that an abusive ex, pile on top of that he cheated on me, pile on top of that, just
Whenever you were going in, because of the laws in your state, you said that you weren't worried about getting time off for work. Was that ever a thing where you were like, I can't go to treatment because I can't take off of work?
Definitely that was a thing. Before, yes.
Did anybody help? Did you talk about that with anybody? Like, well, I can't go to treatment. I'd love to go to treatment, but I can't. I have to work. No.
The only person I would be totally candid like I am now is my therapist that I would speak, that was the only one that knew like just how bad the addiction was. And there was a point when I was going to maybe get an interview for a different job. I had an interview for a different job, and my counselor and I were like, okay, Like, I finally told my counselor, I know it's, like, there was one time I was like, something, like, it's getting really bad. I know it. I know it's just gonna get worse. And if I keep doing this, I'm gonna get, like, actually addicted. Like, I eventually did. Like, where I was, like, dying if I didn't have any. And she was like, yep, this is great. I want treatment, right? Let's go. And so we, like, made a plan. Like, and she can't make the plan for me. I'm sure she would have wanted to just send me right to treatment, right? But, like, we made a plan together that worked with me where I was going to interview for this job. And if I got that job, I was going to do night patient, but, like, I could still work.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I was going to stay at this job, but go to inpatient. And that was, like, kind of something we said that we were going to do. So I didn't get that job. I still didn't think I could go to treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't, there was not a lot of resources, if that's what you're asking, like, for my knowledge of, like, if it was even possible, no resources. And the company I worked for made it, like, really hard to ask for help. Like, they're just,
Do you think people avoid treatment because of the steps that it takes to have to get into it? Because when you're barely fucking surviving and all you're trying to do is figure out how to not claw your eyes out, the last thing you want to do is call 50 different phone numbers,
paperwork, intakes.
Press 1 after this, repeat the menu, press 5, leave a voicemail. We'll try to get back. Like, I don't know how they feel that if someone doesn't have support, literally calling, going, and then I'm on the phone going, I know they're an adult, but they can't literally call you because they are trying to live right now. And they're like, well, we can't help you. We can only talk. They have to want it themselves. They do want it themselves. They do want it themselves, but they literally cannot
They're
pick up
fucking
the
scared,
phone
like, bruh.
and talk to you on the phone without crying because you sound like a mean bitch right now on the
Nick
phone.
and his family had a similar experience to that. Not with me.
Like, how do you expect someone who has no self-confidence? I have a lot of self-confidence, and I can barely finish this phone conversation with you. I mean, I don't know how many conversations I had when I was looking for treatment centers for a loved one. And I'm going, there's no way that they were going to survive this if they had to do it themselves.
Oh, well, and
so
like
did
I said,
you find that dialogue happening in treatment, like from the people there, or is it not really something that you're worrying about once you're in there?
No, once you're in there, no one's talking about. They're talking about all the shit they went through to get there, but, like, not the nitty gritty. But I will say, I was expected to, like, do, like, not expected, but, like, I had to figure out treatment for myself, right? Like, it had to be me, and I would never have done it had I not had one little half pill left, because I couldn't have. I would have just continued to sleep. So I had one half pill left.
Yeah.
And I was in, like, a meth or Adderall, whatever the fuck. And
do you think that's why
I just must have known, like, and it was my last of my supply. Every time I tried to get more, I would get a heart attack again. So I was like, I'll just take this half, and I'm gonna use it to apply.
Do you think that's why people use before they go? Just to help them get to the door?
No, I think yes, but I don't think it's to get them the technicalities. Like, I literally needed to, like, do the technicalities, and I didn't, like, want to do it. So I needed the meth to help me. But then I wish I had, like, had 5 more to pop on the way. Just because what people were doing in the parking lot was, like, chugging before going into detox. And I don't think it's, like, I think it's because they're, like, saying goodbye.
They want to have control over it. They don't want someone else to be controlling when they feel fucked up for the last time.
And also, like, we felt we as in, like, the people that were in treatment, we felt entitled to that right of, like, having our drug of choice up until we got to the doors, because you were doing so much as to go to treatment that it was like, well, if I'm going to treatment, I'm fucking using until I'm in there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's your way, because it has
and a lot of people are just they got to go to detox. That's why they have a detox.
Did you have, so a lot of people don't know when they're going into treatment. Sometimes they tell you that you'll be there for 2 weeks, 7, whatever, 30 days. Did you pretty much know when you were going in how long you were going to stay, or did you have to work through a program to find that out?
I knew that it was 28 days. However, I was not accepting that. Absolutely not. I told myself that I will, at the very fucking most, I'll be here a week. But Nick kept saying things like, well, when you get out next month, we can do this when you get out. And in my head, I'm like, Nick, shut the fuck up. I'm getting out next week. I can't, like, be so for real.
Yeah.
Be so for real. Like, and I just, pick me. I know they're going to come get me in a week, like really in a week. But yeah, no, like once you get into it, like there's so much work to do. I remember thinking like week 2, I was like, what if I were to like do like up and leave? And like, even if I wanted to still, you just wouldn't, because like the group of women you're with, they wouldn't let you. They care about you. They wouldn't let you go. No, they would have never let me go.
Do you think that when you leave, do you feel that you're prepared, or do you think that you could have had another little bit more time?
A lot of people feel that they need a lot more time.
And they just can't afford it because it doesn't get paid for.
Yeah, like insurance will cut them off even before 28 days.
Yeah, oh no.
A lot of people had problems with it. It's very sad.
I know. And then they're like, they really could use like 5 more days of treatment, and they're like, and that'll be $3,000 a day. And they're like, if you just want to do that. And then like if you can't pay it on the spot, they actually kick you out that day because they want to give the bed to someone else so that they can like get that position paid. I'm not kidding. So when you got there, how did your intake go? You went to detox, or did you?
Well, depending on your condition, you might have to go right to detox. I was sober.
Partially detoxed. You just had.
Yeah, I had partially detoxed, and then I think I don't even think I had weed that morning because I just didn't have anything left. So I was like, damn it, I'm really sober. I went to talk to a couple doctors, and they asked me my story. What was interesting to me, though, was that they were interested into why I was into the Adderall. And I didn't know anyone was going to, like, ask that. I thought they were just going to be like, shame on you, you know? But they were like, well, it must have been doing something for you if you were, like, obsessed with it. And I was, like, pleasantly surprised at that. And then I convinced myself that minute that I think they're going to give me Adderall right now. Like, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no.
I am fucking not kidding.
Yeah,
I think he might give me Adderall because he feels bad for me.
Because they feel bad. Yeah, because they think that this might be the thing. Yeah.
like,
they're just going to give me a better dose.
Oh, my God.
They're going to get me on the right dose.
I'd be like, I'll stay at treatment then. Oh, my God.
Nick, I'm not coming home next month. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. No, I know. That was so crazy.
Were you allowed to have visitors?
Yes, Wednesdays and Sundays. And my boyfriend visited literally every fucking day he could visit. He never missed one. It is
Did that help?
Cutest, sweetest thing. Yes.
So if someone's in treatment, go visit them.
Well, hang on. If someone's in treatment, ask them, because it was very hard for me to do, but I had help with the girls in my group to speak my truth. But like I didn't want my mom and dad coming to see me in treatment. I was very ashamed. And I also was very afraid to hurt my mom's feelings because I already hurt her so much going through all this. But, you know, my group helped me be okay with being selfish in those moments of like, what I need is like, I don't want you to see this. And I couldn't fathom my dad having the image of like me in the halls. And and then I had a couple girlfriends that wanted to see me, and I don't want to be there with my friends. So the only people I let see me were Nick and my brother Evan, and it's my brother. So,
that helps.
Ask the addict. Like, don't assume that they want to see a visitor, because they actually probably don't.
And is it personal?
No.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
That's the other part.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
Love that rhetorical question.
It was for you. It was because you needed
if I was being selfless, I would have let my mom and dad come, because they wanted to see what their daughter, they're dying, but no way could I have handled that. It was so triggering just to see my mom at any point during that time before treatment, because I was so ashamed of myself that seeing the woman that I love more than anything want to be, you look like Reese Witherspoon right now, want to be like this, I want to make her proud. I was not. So having any relationship with her was like painful to me. And she thought that it was like, I don't love her because I didn't, but I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the pain of loving her while being so fucking sick.
Having her see you like that would have been really hard for you.
And she did.
As a mom, it was way harder for her to not see you because she can't see she can't fix anything.
Yeah.
We fix it.
Yes.
We fix it. So I get really emotional thinking about that, but yeah, you did really good though, because that was like the first time that you took control of something that you like. You were okay
that was
to be
really
like,
big step
no,
for me.
I can't do this. And as much as it pains me for you, I have to learn how to say no for me.
Yeah. Well, and that was a growing part for my mom, is that like, I didn't even think she was gonna like listen. I thought she was probably just gonna come anyway, but
yeah,
she didn't, because I asked her not to, and I was impressed that she respected that, because like you're saying, like, you're a mom, so I mean, they're just
I've dealt
y'all
with
are
treatment
gung-ho
centers
for your kids, right?
Yeah.
So she would have done. I mean, yeah, she wanted to. If I had let her, she would have come storming in there. You know, like
No, I'm not. I'm not immune to treatment centers. I'm aware of of the whole process, but you do think like, well, I should be there for them and I should visit them, and then it's like, because she just wants to help. But yeah, no, that got my mom heart. Eek, that was gross. I didn't like that feeling.
I like that. I wish I could cry like that. You're so cute.
Oh my gosh. So we were talking not too long ago, like a week ago. No, we were talking yesterday, I think, and we're talking about the dual diagnosis. So there are lots of different types of treatment centers, like dual diagnosis, trauma-informed, 12-step, there's holistic. Do you know what kind of treatment you went in and did?
Well, it was
dual?
Centered around dual. It was centered around the Alcoholics Anonymous. Like that was their program.
Yeah, the AA. Yeah, AA. Did you do any
dual
NA?
diagnosis? Yeah, we did read from NA because
yeah, just
mainly AA. There was mostly alcoholics there, so it was really fun to like actually like gather little drug addict friends, because like for once I wasn't the craziest drug addict in the room. Like not crazy, but like the one who had used the worst.
Yeah,
like
you had some like really.
Actually, I'm not the one that's tried everything.
Yeah,
so, that was also really fun about treatment, is that I was finally with people who I didn't have to act any type of way. I could act like my full fiend self, and everyone would understand.
Do you think did y'all look up facilities, or did you just pick one and go? Here's one and go.
Well, Hazleton's very popular, so most people I think just wanted to do that. But for some reason, I had the idea that Hazleton was. I wanted like an NA program specifically, and also like my therapist really wanted me to do like a woman's program as well, and somewhere away. But all of that it was taking too much time to figure out, money that that day that I took the Adderall, I was like, I don't have, I'm just gonna I have to do something because people are like knocking down my door and I can't find anything else. So I knocked on Hazleton's door, and in the end, I'm so happy they took me. I'm so happy I went there instead of anywhere else, because it was just great fundamental steps to seeing what life could be like as a sober addict, or like, and also immersing myself with like people who have been through the same thing. It was wonderful. So healing to see other people like me, or like not like me, but like have experiences like me, or like feel the same way.
This is a weird one. Was there now looking back, now like reflecting back, was there a difference between being ready for treatment and being desperate for treatment? Looking back, because in the moment it wouldn't, that question can't be answered. But like there is a part where it's like, oh no, I'm ready. I'm going to take this seriously and I'm going to do something about it, or no, I've got to go because I've got to go.
I think if you're ready for treatment, the way you said it, and this is just my opinion, of course, I'm debate it, okay? Debating. But if that first part you said, if that's the case and you can walk into treatment, you probably need, I mean, sure, get yourself treatment, but you probably are not this severe. Yes. You're probably like, you were probably somehow controlling your addiction a little bit, is my guess. I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm just saying, based off what I know, is that like, when we're that far in, we are not going to fucking stop unless there's no other option. And it's just not going to be a clean cut, like, now I need treatment.
When you were in treatment, was there a portion where you go, okay, I'm ready to absorb this now. Now I get it.
Yes. And it was finally when I was, they like take you off all your fucking meds when you get in there, which is, hated it. Oh, it was terrible. But at least it equalized, like evened us all out, and then they could really see our problems. Well, damn, I had problems. Me without my anxiety and mood stabilizers at the time was already hell, and all hell. I was sleep, screaming, travesty, freaking out. Anyway, finally, you don't get to see the psych till your second week. So when I finally got to see the second, finally got my meds that I'd had for a while under my belt. Thank God it didn't take them long to kick in because I was used to them. I was, end of week, I was ready to start absorbing, and I was happy to be there. But it took my first 2 weeks in treatment were miserable. Truly miserable. So when I talk about like joy for treatment and what it did for me, it's mostly the last 2 weeks. And but I had to have those first 2 weeks to get there.
But in that first 2 weeks, did you ever say, well, I'm going to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to, or did you were, I mean,
well, yes, but I couldn't.
You didn't have another choice.
I mean, I don't think anyone would have picked me up.
Do you think that you had any preconceived notions on what rehab would look like for treatment?
Yes.
Sobriety, based on what you'd seen in media?
Yeah. I thought, yes.
Was it anything like it?
No.
Okay, good.
Nothing.
Tell us.
Well, I mean, the reason why I put out a TikTok and which I'd like to update so I can articulate myself better, but that was like my first time really like trying to come clean to the camera, just describe anything to the camera. But I talk about my treatment experience because it was so unlike what I thought it would be. When I showed up at treatment, I told all of the girls, I was like laughing with relief as we were in the circle, like doing our just like communal prayer. It was so just love it. Peace, love, happiness. But I was like, I thought this was for homeless people. I thought y'all were homeless, and I was about to be amongst the fucking homeless.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could have been that naive, but truly. And then I realized, no, treatment is like for rich people. Like the treatment centers. Maybe not the detox, but like the county detox. But if you go to a treatment facility, I mean, when are you going to be more safe? You have doctors next door to you. I mean, it's a nice feeling. You feel very protected and safe. But yeah, it's if no one there was poor or homeless.
Yeah. So that was a big misconception. You walked in and you were like,
and did I really think about it? Like, are they taking people up? No, but like if you had asked me, I would have just assumed it was mostly like, yeah, who you picture when you picture drug addicts. Yeah. And really, it was just like people look like you, people look like me, people look like Nick in there, people look like those 3 guys in there, my mom, like anyone. Yeah. My roommate looked like Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Very happy, beautiful, cheerful lady. But she was crack dealer.
Yeah.
You would not. You think she was sold cookies?
No, it doesn't discriminate at all. Did you have a wait list? Or were you able to get in?
There's sometimes a wait list. I was able to get in.
That's very good.
And they do pretty good about the wait list, too.
Because it does delay. Sometimes if you have to wait to get in, even if it's a day or two, you might lose. You might lose that drive. If you hadn't had that. I mean, because you said you took that pill, the half pill. So if that half pill had gone through and you hadn't gotten in that day.
Or, if I hadn't finished all if I still had steps to do,
So do you think that from what you'd heard on other women who had done treatment, maybe if they had been in it a second time, did you ever hear any conversations about, delayed entry into a treatment facility being like, well, no, I couldn't get in, so that was that? I know that some people have not gone to treatment because they couldn't get in quickly while it was the impulsive is there.
That's sad. That's what that hurts my heart to hear. The women that I know that had to wait, they did wait for it. And I don't know the details of if they were actively using. I assume.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the alcoholics, I'm thinking specifically of a fellow drug addict that she had done heroin before, but that time she was in there for like crack and stuff. So I'm just wondering. I know she had to wait a little bit, and it's interesting. I'm just wondering, like, how all that worked. If they called her at the right second, or sometimes like they can schedule you. So like, oh, we can't take you till this day. So then you have to wait till that day, but then it's like scheduled, and sometimes like you get that organized. They have like a ride coming, and it's someone, oh shit, now I have to go. So I don't know. Yeah, that's all I know about that.
Were they good about giving you support for afterwards? Like, did they help set you up for outpatient or anything like that? That's good. Did you have you ever looked into an IOP program, like an intense outpatient?
Well, I did Hazleton one right after.
Oh, okay. So you did.
So I did do the outpatient. Yes, and I did. So it was great because I wasn't ready to return to work after all that. I had like just been reborn. Like literally, the old Corinne had died, and I was just being reborn. And I still had problems after that, but I do think I was like reborn.
Do you feel that you had any fears going in that were actually valid? Like you go in and you're like, I'm scared about this, and then you're like, see, I knew this was gonna be that. Like the food was gross, the creepy people, you know, I mean, I'm trying to think of all the stuff like that people's
like I just knew I didn't want to go, and like maybe there was homeless people, but I didn't think about like food and all that until like I had to, like the last minute. Because I wouldn't fucking care. But the biggest I think the biggest surprise for me was just that the community of women was my fucking God.
I love community.
Saved me. I love those women to death. We have like a core group, my Simpson girls, for like a good chunk of time. Like it was like almost like we all came in together and all left together. So it was very therapeutic to go through treatment with them.
Did you feel ever that treatment was punishment?
Yes, before I went. And maybe a little bit the first week or two. But when you start to like, however long it takes your brain to flip, and I only mean flip by like you're detoxing and then you're like equalized and you wake up again, and maybe you need like the antipsychotics to help you flip.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just needed, maybe you don't need antipsychotics and you just like work on a bender for so long and then find it. Whatever it is, there's a turning point in treatment. So it fucking was for me. I don't know how if there's no turning point, then you're like probably just like not gonna take anything with you. I'd be fine.
Yeah. Did you have is there any sort of alumni or network that you've stayed in touch with? Or do you ever drop in can you drop in for therapeutic help, or you find your own therapist?
I've been back there for help. I mean, you can like, you would have to get a roll back a day or something. Okay, so you can just be like,
no resources.
Can I have a counseling session?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, no.
You're okay. It is the network. Do you have an alumni or a network?
Yeah, but okay, so the girls that were my Simpson girls, like we have a big text message group. It's kind of like lost ammo though, especially someone I'm pretty sure she was after my time, but someone that was a part of that group passed. So and we dismantled that, and then like no one's really. I'm not going to say more of that, but
no, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's hard.
But the treatment facility, the treatment center itself doesn't we're having an alumni celebration.
I think they do. Yeah.
Okay, so there is option say that might be something for someone who's like solo, like they don't, like they might not have like families. So they do have some sort of community style.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And in the St. Paul location and the Center City, which is the inpatient. Yeah, St. Paul location, I know that like for their residents who are like, you know, looking to stay sober in the evenings and just like have stuff to do, they have speakers,
community.
Yeah.
And what's the best part about that is that it's in-house. So obviously you can get support from all sorts of places, but if it's within the community that you trust, you know, everybody that's come out of there, they've all gone through the same thing that we all have.
Totally.
And so it's not like, oh, well, you're from Brownsville.
Right.
So you're like,
what was your treatment like?
Yeah, no, it's so that is very helpful if they have something like that. What would you say to someone who is scared of going to treatment? They're afraid of going to treatment because they're afraid to not come back. You know, there is a part of you that has to die, an ego of sort that has to die in treatment for you to really like go, okay, this is beyond me. Because that's the ego. Like, this is mine. This is my illness. This is
a lot of
my
people
disease.
say that's that they like realize it's greater than them, and that's how they're able to get past that. Like you say, I didn't get that God moment until actually far after treatment. I did get it eventually, but I wasn't expecting it. But for me, the higher power, like the thing that made me realize like I am, or I don't know, like it's a blessing to be, or whatever the word that we were using, where it's like I'm not entitled to be here. So I'm in it, but yeah.
No, exactly. No, I know what you're. Yo, keep going. No, it's like going.
The women, they were almost like I said during that the women and the group therapy was like what my higher power was. Like I found absolute healing in. Well, what I needed was the right meds. On top of that, I needed to hear women speak and to have them hear me speak and have those women be the kind of women that it's the same if you and I are talking. Yeah. That know they're not normies. We're not
judgmental.
Well, and even and not to say that like people who have never experienced would be judgmental, but it's like a certain kind of understanding.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
is so therapeutic that they hear.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a section I think you're going to enjoy. Mm-hmm. How do you personally define sobriety now?
Oh my goodness. I do think the definition of sobriety is like having a raw brain. But then I guess you could take it. Well, when you're on your antipsychotics? Are you technically not sober? So I mean, you could really go into that. But
your sobriety. What do you define your sobriety? And you don't have to say, well, it's if I don't have meth or if I don't have pills. It's what do you see your definition of sobriety for your success? Okay. If you're like, if I keep doing this, I'm successful in my sobriety.
Yeah, what I need to do is I need to get back into group therapy, keep my mental health healthy, right? Because if that's healthy, then it's less likely that I'm making these self-destructive decisions. Like if I'm fiending to get high, taking it to that level and getting hot, and then continuing on. So like, I guess my sobriety is like what my intentions are. I'm smoking weed because if I'm smoking weed because like it's weed and it's the evening, and I'm an adult and I can fucking smoke weed, amazing. But if I'm like, shit, I overslept and I need a stimulant, and start making finding ways to do. I mean,
manipulating. Yeah. I'm very tired. I think that maybe if I just did this, then I'm going to be so tired. Yeah. That's like the teetering on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do sober days?
I had, after on a treatment, I'd cook a couple days off. well, it was hard. I got on additional meds, finally was given the real money I needed was Wellbutrin, thank God. And then I was happy. But then I was like, okay, with this Wellbutrin, I probably don't have to smoke every fucking second of the day. So I actually did take a couple days off this summer. I didn't even know I had it in me, besides like I had you for treatment. I started to test myself. But then I realized I didn't have to not smoke weed. So I've just been smoking weed since. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, well, why do I have to not smoke weed? It's not hurting me. And it hadn't. So I was like, okay, I'll just smoke. And I have, every day ever since. But,
because that's not your drug. That's not your...
Well, does it make me want to go to the club and twerk and like get coke?
You want to go get coke.
If anything, I could be better about like, if anything, I just want to lower my tolerance. So it's like I can enjoy the actual like benefits it'll give you, because of smoking 24/7, it's just normal.
If you were to relapse, would you say that would be you'd have to have a whole new start date?
I had relapsed.
Did you feel that was a necessary whole new start date? How does that, because I've watched several influencers on social media who have they're sober off Suboxone. There you go. They're sober off of the heavy, and then they're on to Suboxone, and then they're like, I don't even want to be on that anymore, so I'm going to get sober off of that. And then they relapse on day, like, month 3, and they come on and they're like, I did a really fucked up thing last night, and I took my sub, and I relapsed, and everybody's like, it's your day 1 again. And they're like, I'm the one that's going, it is not your day 1 again. Those 200 days you had before that definitely are not erased, because every day that you were gritting teeth to not do what you were going to do, like, that doesn't feel right. So what is your thought?
I agree with that. That's how I
how do they narrate it in treatment?
Day 1, you start over. Oh, if you
that would be so hard.
And also I found it hard. Well, with that, I found it frustrating and hard because like my substance sober dates were not like the same. And it pissed me off that they just wanted to give a sober date. Because I was like, well, fuck, I've been sober off drinking for a year and I'm fucking proud of that. Like, although I got fucked on drugs, like, I did one thing and it was give up drinking, and I stayed to that. So I was proud of that. I wanted to name that sober date, and then I would name my stimulant sober date. And then in outpatient, because I was pretending I wasn't smoking weed, I would name my weed sober date too, which they like humored me and let me do. But what they really wanted me to do was just like the life state, which would have been that weed too. But bitch, no, because I want credit. I want fucking credit, right? So I would list all the dates. No one else does that. I don't give a fuck.
So here's
they're not the same to me.
I kind of like to think that, like, I've been walking I'm 43, so I've been walking for like 42 years, right? Mm-hmm. If I walk out of this room and I stumble and trip and fall and I bust my face open, does that undo all the fucking walking that I've done for 42 years?
No.
Because I fell, because I tripped.
No, I know. The concept
does that mean that I can't? Yeah.
The concept is not.
It's not, to me, look, if that works
it's
for
a failure
if
concept.
It works, yeah. And if that...
I guess if you want to be so
that's
hard
almost
on
like
yourself.
OCD, though, and that in itself, it's like, okay, well, so at what point do we get to kind of take all the accountability and also show the other portion, like, I am accountable, like, I have like all of the good work that I've done leading up to this indiscretion, this mishap, this mistake. So I was just curious what your thoughts are, because I'm very big on it not starting over, but not everybody believes that.
I am in exact agreement with you, and further, like, the main narrative of it starting over really and counting your days. I think it can be helpful to count your days if like it's another, like, it's like, oh, one more, like I didn't want to break my drinking sobriety because I was really proud of the number. It was a big number. It was like it was over a year. So simply for the fact I didn't want to like ruin that number, I wasn't going to drink. I was like, well, that's not much, just a fucking number. So I had some wine, no big deal. I don't really drink ever. I just don't. continued drinking. It's not my thing. But, you know, I planned on, when I went to a Greece, a family vacation, like having alcohol. Like I had literally planned that out to break it then. But I also like, I was like, maybe I won't, because like I really wanted to keep that, that number big. So even me, when I planned it out and I had that first glass of wine in my head, I'm like, oh no, what day is back at 0? That was disheartening. And I like, why like plan that? But that was fucking disheartening. So I can't imagine if like that was my drug of choice and I had to fucking start all the fuck over after that. Oh no, fuck no. Fuck no. No. No.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And there was, I also think it's just, one more thing is I think it's very destructive to, I don't know. And y'all are going to debate me on this, but like, there's something unhealthy I find in like comparing sober dates.
Of course.
It's like comparing weights.
Of course.
Even on TikTok, I've started my sobriety channel and like, I've gotten questions, well, when is your sober date? And I was like,
it's like, when is the last day of my first last day of my last period or something? Like, what kind of question is that?
Yeah, and like I was posting, like I post about stuff I've been through, so like clearly I know what is that? And I think it's just like, they didn't mean anything bad because it's like a common question you get in that industry, but like for someone like me and other people who are healing and it's not so fucking linear and they maybe don't feel the need to punish themselves for their entire life and not smoke weed, yeah, they want to they want to participate, and it's the counting. So okay, it seems like they're doing it all right because they have that number, and then compared to, so if I don't have an answer or a number, or what if I do answer? What if am I really like? What if I literally answered her truthfully? 3 days. You have a sober account. You're one sober for 3 days. Well, yeah, I relapsed. Like, you know, but what good does that fucking have? It would be way better if I actually did share that I relapsed and started over and I'm still doing the sober channel and I'm still passionate and I'm still willing to talk about it. Versus other sober channels I see, and I love that it's working for them, they count every single day. And I think it helps them. But I think it's very masturbatory, and I don't think it helps anyone else.
It's not helpful.
It's incredibly masturbatory. Maybe just like, it helps you, and it probably is a show off, a sick brag to like people who don't have problems, but I'm telling you, it's not inspirational. Yeah. Sorry. Like, I'm proud of you for doing it, but like, I don't care about the day. I just fucking don't. If you're sober today, I'm impressed with that.
Yes.
One day at a time. I don't give a fuck about the 600 days before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really felt that when I said that.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So, put that in there.
As we're wrapping up, I do have a couple questions, a few more questions. If someone is at home and they're Googling, am I an addict because I like pot and alcohol and I drink 4 days a week? Do you think that those are like, if someone's Googling questions about their sobriety, what would you suggest?
Well, I see they're aware enough to be asking the question.
When you were Googling, what does a heart attack what is an overdose?
Oh, yeah.
What would you suggest to someone who is finding themselves at the office on a lunch break? Yeah. What would you say to that girl, that guy? What advice would you have? And not the serious Corrine, like the serious Corrine. What would you say to them? Like, you're kidding yourself?
No, not even that, because it doesn't. I would have just said like, turn to Sam, your coworker, and ask her to take you to the hospital. You ever wish I had done that? It wasn't about like, now you see that enough is enough, because I was already saying that to myself. I was like, oh my God, I truly never wanted to do. That day I was overdosing. I'll never do drugs again. And I meant it. Of course not, you know. But I was so scared. And I wish if I could see my past self, I would just be like, do you see Sam right there? Like, shit, she loves you. You guys are friends. you need to ask her to take you to the hospital. It's not gonna, nothing, she's gonna take you to the hospital. You don't have to answer anything. Yeah. I just didn't think I could do that.
So reach out, ask for help.
Ask for help. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Ask for help. Have you found that your spirituality or a sense of any sort of connection has changed? Have you found any sort of sense of spirituality within yourself? It doesn't even have to be like a god or a Buddha. Have you found any spirituality in yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't at treatment either, because a lot of people say they experience the God moment at treatment, and it like everything is suddenly clear to them, and it why they need to be sober, and their path is set, and like it just there's more questioning, and they know that they are in the right spot or whatever for the God moment. So I didn't get that in treatment, but I like certainly had I put a bow on my treatment experience. Like I wrapped it up with like I did the Ariana Grande, like when you turn 29, like the Saturn's interlude from her album, recent album. It's like when you turn, what is it? It's like when you turn 29, you have to stop, or Saturn comes around every 29 years, and that's when you have to stop or look at yourself and say like, wake the fuck up. So I played that, which is like so amazing. It was like so cool because I was literally turning 29 that day, played that song, and then told my story. And then after, when I was doing my coin out, like I'm telling you, I wrapped out my experience with a bow. And I want to remind me, I want to read a little thing before we tap out.
No, you are.
Sure.
Going to, yeah.
But, I concluded my experience with like some like theatricalness almost. Like I had a song and I had a saying, and it was like, that's just how Corrine does it. I just wanted to make it. It was a very Corrine sign out, and so I was very pleased with that, and I didn't care that I didn't have a God moment. Was everything perfect after that? No, I still haven't even gotten more Wellbutrin, which was the actual thing that caused my brain to stop hurting. Months later, I'm having truly like, and I will cry, and I won't, but my family have been in pain. Like my mom, my dad, my dad, that I call my dad, not the Russian one. Mm-hmm. And my siblings and brother, like we had just the family, it's just some hard. I've been freaking them out for a while. My brother's always had addiction issues. My littlest sister has addiction issues now. All kinds. Pain. People are, my dad's mom passed. There's a lot of suffering in my family. And my dad took us and my boyfriend to Greece. And it was something I never thought would be possible. First of all, we didn't have any money growing up. That was not. We didn't go to Florida or something, but like, what on Greece? But also, like, it was like, I didn't think that I was so, like, triggered by my family and parents and, like, hurting them or them seeing who I became, or, like, I don't know, like, I wanted to keep them away so that it would stay, the more I kept them away and tried to block out the pain there, I was fucking suffering because it's so painful to know their family's suffering. And so anyway, fast forward on this Greece trip was like a gift from fucking Jesus, because like I cannot thank the universe enough for this trip. Like, it was so healing for my family, like so fucking healing. And the last day we go on, took a cruise tour. Like this boat was going to take us and a small group of others from all around the fucking world. It was literally beautiful, to these islands. And like, it was such a fucking communal, holy fucking experience. I've never seen the color blue more blue in my life. That is fucking blue. Okay. And I'd always dreamt of seeing them blue churches, like the classic. So, and then there's that church, and we get to that island, and my family, and we all get on bikes, and it's like the fucking most beautiful shit you've ever fucking picture. Like the shore, there's children and just people on the shoreline, peaceful. There were people, it was most peaceful. No cars, just shops, little fisherman shit. My family is ahead of me. We're all biking in line. I'm the caboose. And I'm looking up and like, I've never seen anything more blue. I've never seen anything more peaceful. The world was like that, actually still. And I like stopped my bike and suddenly like just tears came and they kept coming and then kept coming. And I was like overcome with like how emotional I was. And it was because it was like suddenly it was like this overwhelming truth that hit me where there must be something. Because I had been through some fucking shit this past year. Like, I was like, wow, I went to treatment. I got my mom and dad through hell. I mean, I've seen everything. I had recently before that trip, one of my best friend's husband passed. And I was just remembering that and like how much suffering there is in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is there a place like this? My beautiful friend is missing her husband back home when all that suffering is and it was just like I was like I couldn't even move. I'm just tears and it was like an overwhelming surge of like realization that there's something more. There has to be. Because like I refuse to let the people I love like suffer like I did and like that to be the end. And I was spending a lot of time thinking of all the people that I cared about in that moment, like that had touched me, and that the sad things they had been through and the happy things, and how was there that both of that, and like I felt like I was at the gates of heaven. I truly thought this island was the freaking gates of heaven. It felt like it. And then when I got to the end of the island, there was that blue church, and I sat down and I asked like my family to go clean the beach. I need some alone time, and I'm just like, I didn't go play on the beach. I literally sat there with my eyes closed on that holy ground from that blue church. And I have pictures I'll show you. I just like felt the Lord's presence. Never have felt like that before. And I grew up Catholic. I've never felt that strongly that there was actually like, and I'm not kidding, I could see a line from where I was to the church. And then I was looking at the sky and the wind blowing. And I was like, oh my God, he's trying to tell me something. And what I got, the most I could form, the best I can form what I learned from that, from what he was telling me, she, God, to put into words is, this is what I can translate it as, and it is a rough translation, right? But what I think God said to me was that there is nothing to know and there is everything to know. And that means a lot of things and it doesn't mean anything, you know? And I just like told my family that like a bunch. And then my dad reiterated, yeah, we're all beginners at the end. And like it was a full circle. It was a beautiful day. We went home and like, it was like a community, like it was from all around the world on this boat too. So I was just like, what a beautiful life this is. Like people from here. I was laughing around with people I'd never, fuck. So, yeah, that was a moment. And that, I don't know if like my life changed after that. And I don't know if like I'm not praying or nothing. I'm not like suddenly devoted to going to church.
Sounds like you had a little peaceful moment.
I had a fucking
your brain didn't hurt and your heart, like you got to feel peace in the little moment.
Yeah, but another thing that was apparent during the peace was time. I was like, I'm running out of time.
And you weren't bored too. You weren't bored because normally the monotonous of something like the elevator or whatever it is, the waiting for something, there was no boredom in the wait.
Oh God, no.
I
was like praying the minutes to go by slower because of the presence I felt. And like, we only have a certain amount of time on this island. And it just, throughout this whole psychedelic experience, I kept being reminded of time. And I thought that was such an interesting theme because time is everywhere, right? the deciding factor for fucking anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my experience. Thanks for listening. Everything I do is for my mom. I put my mom with anything. And I will, like, no matter what, like, always fight to be alive for my mom. So I wanted to read the ending of Wild, the book by Cheryl Strayed. I was just talking about the movie, the same thing, but the book was written by Cheryl Strayed, and this ending is very special to me. So, keep in mind she is just finishing a hike, and I'm just finishing treatment. Okay, all right. It was all unknown to me on the day I finished my hike. Everything except the fact that I didn't have to know. That it was enough to trust that what I'd done was true. To understand its meaning without yet being able to say precisely what it was. To believe that I didn't need to reach with my bare hands anymore. To know that seeing the fish beneath the surface of the water was enough. That it was everything. And it was my life. And like all lives, mysterious and irrevocable and sacred. So very close. So very present. So very belonging to me. How wild it was to let it be.
It's very.
Am I choking myself up? No, it's just that I love that.
It's very powerful. It's very powerful. And you were very powerful. And I was so thankful that I was on TikTok at nighttime when they say, get off your phone, let your brain rest. And I'm like, no, I'm going to scroll TikTok before bed. And then I saw your video and I thought, there's something about this girl. I got to find out more. And as much time as we spent together in 24 hours, you're going to be okay. I can tell you're going to be okay. You and I are we have very similar stories. We have very similar,
maybe train of thought.
Things. Yeah. So, I know that you're a scroll stopper for me, and I know that you're going to be a scroll stopper for many because you're only at the beginning. I'm glad I didn't find you 35,000, 100,000 followers from now because one day you won't. No,
let me capitalize on this pain, y'all. Follow me.
Yeah, you keep pushing. You keep doing.
I just want to share my story.
It's because
it's unique. It's my story.
It is.
It's my story. I want to share.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much. Whatever it was that you were doing today, whether you were driving or you're kind of just chilling on the couch or you're doing laundry and you were listening to this podcast, I hope that you got something from it. I hope that you got some information, whether it can help you help a family member, a coworker, maybe you can see something in yourself and you can see that you're worth fighting for, you're worth going to treatment for, you're worth causing a big old ruckus. Like you are worth, bucking it up to stay. And yeah, golly, you got me cry twice. Ew.
Yeah, I'm like a little choked up right now.
Yucky. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much. You'll be able to find this on all the streaming platforms. If you like what you saw, like, follow, share. Don't forget to find Corrine. Corrine, what is your newest handle? Because you changed your TikTok handle.
Yeah. Confessions of an Addict. Or Corrine, wait for it, Nugent.
Corrine, wait for it, Nugent.
Yeah, that's my middle name was Wait for It. So it's like actually my factual middle name. I just feel
sorry. What?
My middle name was Wait for It.
Wait for it? WAITFORIT.
Yeah, like Corrine. Wait for it. Nugent. No, I'm fucking kidding. That's all. That's your mother. Rough face.
Maybe I'm very glad.
No way. But it's funny. They so like want to name their like baby, like the middle name. So it's like Margaret Reporter. So I'm like, do that with my name.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, this was After the Anchor podcast. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks so much for having me.
High five.
High five. Thanks so much.